I feel like a Muppet. Oh, what did I do? What did I do on screen? Oh, you don't know. This right here, there was nothing that happened off screen. This is totally not CGI or anything. Booyah. Okay, so. I was trying to think of a song. What do I got? I don't have any song. Because, like, what's a song for Tremors being woke? Like, this is my intro. And it's just like, there's nothing that defines woke. That's what we're going to kind of find the fuck out here. So, yeah, there is no song. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Talking Tremors. I am your host, Levi Dylan Burzloff-Lutt. These episodes where I don't have a script always kind of scare me, but in the end I know it's way more fun because I know what I need to do here. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I hope pisses off a lot of people in chat. Or, okay, I don't want it to piss you off. Actually, honestly, the whole point of this is that we're all going to kind of find out together here that collectively, as a human race, we're all sort of awake, and there's people... See, like, I don't want to say there's people, because that's always that they, them, the bigger bad guy is, like, putting you down and stuff, when in reality, the bigger bad guy is always something that you're doing, putting your hand towards the light. And in that sense, Tremors is woke! It is, folks! I was going to say, put a button in it, end of the discussion, but it's not. That's not the end of the discussion, because that's the whole rest of what we're going to do here. It really is. I get so tired of seeing sometimes, and this is where the idea for this came from. Was that the Tremor Saga? I think they found a picture on Twitter. That's always usually where they find things. But somebody made a coming soon Tremors 2023 poster. And it's always funny because, like, people respond to those like there's like zero critical thinking. It's just like movie, and like, Jesus fucking Christ, like you could make like the most informative post about Tremors, like I have done personal. Yeah, you can, or Jonathan Melville. Or you can make an incredibly detailed synopsis, not of a movie or a TV show or of two movies or some of them, but of the entire series itself, and like what happens to get it done and get it made, and just people fucking ignore you. Hollywood Unseen. Oh, there's another one. I am always so sad that when you go to look up Tremors movie news, it doesn't show the Hollywood Unseen articles. The one about Tremors 5, Gummer Down Under, and then the one about the Tremors pilot. And I'm always like, that's like actual fucking news, and like it doesn't show up on the Google results. But Kevin Bacon saying for the 90th fucking time that like, I made a mistake and I actually really like Tremors and was trying to bring it back. Jesus Christ, you got another 80,000 fucking articles about that. And it's really frustrating, and seeing all of these people when it comes to I will stop. Gummer Down Under, I've always loved it. Is loved as a name. The other name is Thunder Down Under too. So then I named one of my podcast episodes Thundering Gummers Down Under, which is even more of a sex. Just like, Jesus. Why don't you just gum her down under? You know why they call them graboids, don't you? But yeah, gum her down under is geriatric porn parody. This is why I like doing these lives. Thanks for being here, Chris. And yeah, seeing all these people freak out about a new Tremors movie, and the question of, is it a remake? Is it going to be a remake? And whatever, that kind of is like, meh, people are dumb and stupid. I'm with the Tremors Saga on that, where it's like, you don't remake it, you just restart it. The canon's already there, so why the fuck would you remake it? Just keep going. But then the conversation, or the that discussion always then, oh, well, they're going to remake Tremors and it's going to be woke. It's going to be the woke Tremors. And every time I see that, and I do this with everything. So if I'm reading anything that you like write or do anything like that, I always try to then imagine it. All right. Like Chris just said, a Gummer Down Under geriatric porn parody of Tremors. You know, I just see Burt Gummer coming into Chang's. Did somebody order a sausage? That's not even right. I'm trying to think of something like actually porn parody that works in the Tremors universe. There's so many ideas of ass. Somebody, if you're in the chat or you end up watching or anything like that, please, something ass blasters always be shrieking, or I brought my hog in, I brought my worm in. It's something. I don't know. Anyway, we don't need a Tremors porn parody because there's that freaking not another teen movie gif of Tremors, which is strange. Anywho, Chris, if you're watching in podcast land, the Cult of Odd has said, I see a poster, a glass of water with dentures in it, with a ripple on the water and a holster hanging in the background. Oh, dear God in heaven. That's just nasty. That'd be nasty. Actually, you said that, and now I see it. Honestly, for some reason my mind is on the dentures doing the graboid thing underneath, but then, yeah, the dentures ripple in the water. Holster. This time, I brought the big one. Anywho. Fucking love tangents. I don't care what anybody... Tasteful thickness! Jesus Christ, man! That's what I mean. Tastefully thick tangent there, Chris. I never know what to call you. Cult. Actually, you are the Cult of Odd. I don't know this other person I was saying. Oh, no, there's two names. It's Cult of Odd. My bad. There we go. And to get back to the topic of fucking discussion, Tremors, they're going to remake it, and it's going to be woke. And I think about it, and I look at that, and I read that, and I always go like, what is woke Tremors? And that's why we're doing this episode, because I came to this fucking crazy-ass conclusion that, guess what, guys? Tremors has been woke the whole time. I'm going to go through every single fucking movie. I don't even need notes for this. You're going to love this. I don't need notes for this at all. I'm going to go through every single movie, and I even mean the Don Michael Paul movies, because even he gets some wokeness. Like, there's a level of, like, I don't like the movies, but there's some things the man, or maybe casting directors or people behind the scenes are trying to do. And yes, that's what you just said. Oh, we're focusing, it's woke. We're focusing on this being diverse and doing this like that. And the reason that, like, every time I think about Tremors being woke, I'm like, it's already done. And what's great about it is that they don't focus on it. This is not a tangent, but it ties into what I was saying. I watched Terminator Dark Fate for the first time last night. And weirdly enough, I haven't seen Genesis in the middle. Don't care to. I think I only saw Salvation once. But I saw the other 1, 2, 3 of Terminator, and wanted to watch Linda Hamilton kick ass. That was definitely, I saw her as the scared waitress in the first one, and then evolved into a scared mom but badass in the second, and then now we've got like scared badass grandma in the third. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna bring that up. Odd is saying that like Tremors is woke already because Val was respectful to women. Reba was not a scared housewife. Most of the women in the movies end up being fairly badass, and so that's where this works under the Terminator thing. I'm watching it, and I mean this, like halfway through the whole movie. There's a scene where they're on a train in the middle of the night, and Linda Hamilton and the new Terminator girl, and then the girl that they're trying to save are like having this conversation, and they're talking, and talking the time travel thing. Why are you going to be killed? Why are they after you? And Linda Hamilton says, "Oh yeah, they just want your womb." And it's really just like, ouch. Like, oh, you can tell she was fierce. Like, I was like, damn. Oh, like, whew, hot older women. I really recommend Terminator Dark Fate. Don't watch the other ones. This was, I actually, Salvation was alright. But anyway, they're on a train and they're talking, and Linda Hamilton says, they just want you for your womb. And end up, there's a great twist where that's not exactly true. I don't want to spoil it, but it works. And she says this line, and halfway through the movie, this is the first time my brain went, holy shit. All three of the leads in this right now are women. Like, I turned to Caitlin and I was like, hold on a second. Oh my god. It's just like three badass women trying to kill a Terminator, and later on, and then only about 2/3 of the way through the movie, then do they go and they see Arnold, obviously, which I thought was a tastefully done, like the way that Arnold got done in that movie is how I wish that Earl Bassett would have got done in like a Tremors 3, for his final Tremors 3. But like halfway through this movie, I was like, oh my god, all of the protagonists are women. I had to like, holy shit. And that is woke. All right? And I don't mean that to like apply the negative term. Oh, no. We have to apply a term to it, because I'm going to bring it back to the Matrix, actually, which is where the term of being woke comes from. And Odd said too that, we got Linda Hamilton is fierce. Sigourney Weaver in all of the Alien movies is a fucking badass. Actually, no, not just you get her I always love a good transformation. You get her in the first movie where she is scared and then has to build up that awesome. I always love that "You Are My Lucky Star" scene, because she is just absolutely terrified, out of her fucking mind, but still has to know she has to kill this alien, and it's not forced on you. And that's where, like, when the Cro-Mags use the term woke as a negative, they're trying to bring things down. And then this is where I would not use the term as a positive, but as that neutral, as a neutral thing, because it should just be pH balanced. You should only notice halfway through, like, oh my god, yeah, all of these people are women. It shouldn't come up, like, it was never, like, forced in the movie. There was no, like, dialogue that worked to that, to, like, highlight and wink it. As much as I love the Avengers movies, and Endgame is a great fucking movie, that whole, like, that girl power scene is bad. Yes, progressive is a great term. The Boys does a great girl power scene. Does a great, actually, like, when they're fucking beating the shit out of Stormfront, and then Frenchie's just like, let's get it done. You're like, okay, that's thank you for playing within, like, the rules of what the rest of us are doing. But I like I said, watching Terminator Dark Fate, I just had that, like, that's woke. And that's where I was finally like, I'm going to do this episode on Tremors is woke. Because this, folks, and I say this about the first 4 movies, the TV show we'll have a discussion on, and then the Don Michael Paul movies, a little bit more of a discussion. But these first 4 Tremors movies by Stampede are so fucking woke without doing it. Like, it's fucking brilliant. And it's why, yes, I prefer the term progressive, because it's just a matter of being ahead of the curve. And obviously, if you're watching the 25th episode of this podcast, you know how much I love Steve Wilson and have listened to everything that he said and done. I wish I could listen to more of Burt. Is Burt problematic? But hold on, there's a point there. I love Steve. There's an interview with Nancy Roberts where she's talking about somebody asked, like, was it a conscious thought to write progressive female characters as we're talking? And her response was that it was really funny how kind of flippant she is about it too. She's like, no, that's Steve just likes to write strong, independent women. And honestly, the way she said it too was almost like a fetish thing, where she was like, "Yeah, Steve loves his loves his bullheaded women that just know what they want and they take it." Like what inside of the interview, I was just like, "So Nancy, how many times was that bed crawled into?" I don't mean to be like that. Sorry, that's not what I mean. It is what I mean. No, not fully, but just like no, just the conscious thought of we're gonna just write women that are strong and independent, and this is where on the opposite end of what Joss Whedon does, where it's always that call to the attention of the tight, leathery everythings and the quips, and the focus is on how, oh yeah, this is a woman in a man's world, and that's why we all fucking hate you, Joss Whedon. Man, I was always unsure about that guy, but like Firefly was really good, and it's just like, I'll buy it. But then when you actually watch the behind the scenes of Firefly, you find out that Tim Minier is actually the real dude that gave a shit, and like, so I can watch Firefly with impunity now because I know that like Joss Whedon, was there for it. You remember, folks. Just always remember, folks. Joss Whedon did write Alien Resurrection. Or Alien 4, whatever the fuck it is. Which is not like a terrible movie, but again, if you want to hate him for a reason. Like, and so, Tremors is woke already? Because that was just Steve and Brent being ahead of the time. I say Brent too, because Brent comes from northern New York. He's a New York City guy. You can't tell me that there's not a level of progression to that, like that person, on the upper end of the cultural curve. And then actually, when you do listen to interviews with Brent, that like there's his flippancy where he's just like, God damn it, I hate all these trash, like this just absolute trash. I would like some real characters and things. That was always his angle to Steve when it came to, all right, Steve, you write the monsters and all that, and I'll write the people. And that's where the jokes end up coming from, is Brent. So you got super strong, writing independent Steve on one side, and ultra progressive like Brent on the other side. Ultra humanistic progressive Brent. So, right off the bat, Tremors is going to be woke. God, I was taking my time to make sure I set that up properly because I really want to, like, this is a really cool idea for an episode. So now I'm just making sure I got hit all the points in my head. Yeah, and honestly too, that was part of everything that they were trying to do with Tremors, was flipping the tropes on its head. I always love the one. And this works into it, of Rhonda on the barbed wire. She's wearing granny panties when they take it off. It's a scene that is actually, oh, this is the reason why we took off her pants. Like actually giving a reason for it rather than just, oh yeah, ooh, tasteful nudity. On that point, and this is where I mean woke, like they need to show more penises in television. We're going to go on a tangent here, folks, but this has to deal with it. All right, and Caitlin and I, we're just constantly tired of always seeing boobs and penises, boobs and vaginas, but never any penises. It's not like I want. I personally don't need to see any more. Caitlin wants more, and it's just like, okay, you can't like show one thing all the time and then not show the other thing. So that's where that ties into the wokeness, It's not woke to throw genitals up on the screen. It's woke to throw both sets of genitals up on the screen. So, more dong hanging, Nice. Which leads me into Tremors 1. All right, we're gonna point by point this, and if you don't like it, get the fuck out now. Out. You're gone. Tremors 1. As I was talking about, Rhonda. Look at this person as like I want less nudity in general too. That would be nice. Just to stop. Look at Rhonda as a character here. When we first meet her, she's literally out by herself. Like and in that essence of like, she ain't need no man. She's out there doing just whatever. And I love that we're not going to make her hot. We make her ugly in her first appearance, with the nose thing, to literally then to even then juxtapose to Val, who has, as he's coming up, going, I want my perfect woman to have zero intellect, porn star boobs, legs like a giraffe, a Kim Kardashian ass, and eyes that make me want to swoon. That was actually really good. I need to clip that part out for something. I'm trying to remember it now too. I need porn star boobs. And pulls up, and it's literally her. And then the movie doesn't make it a point to be like, oh, well, damn. Oh, she's not her, and it's too bad. Earl immediately starts hitting her. Like, if you watch, there's a great... I am fully in the camp of, like, all three of those people be fucking. Like, I'm not... the gay thing is like, I mean, it's whatever. Maybe it's there. But if you want to make it a bisexual thing, like, I mean... if you're thinking, oh yeah, like Rhonda got tossed around. No. The way it worked was Val got tossed between the two of them. Like, that's just as an aside, with that beautiful, beautiful hair of his. Well, damn it, Earl! I don't want to be the bottom today. Listen, Valentine, you either be the bottom or Rhonda gets out the pagan stick. I was about to do Ron. Listen, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but you ready to take this? That was actually a pretty good Rhonda. Nice. Jesus Christ. Oh man, I gotta stay. It's not even me being stoned or anything, guys. That's just a really funny idea to me of like them actually passing Val around as a sexual commodity between the two. It's not like I would watch that kind of thing, but I would watch the aftermath of that kind of thing. I'm into that storytelling. I got so focused on Rhonda too. I kind of forgot to start, and this is where I should have like started with the like hanging dong thing. The literal first shot of the movie is Kevin Bacon's penis. Like, it's like seriously, it's in the little letters. If you got the 4K, this is where you got to go buy the Aero Quality 4K edition, folks, and you can zoom in on the M. Zoop. And you get to see Kevin Bacon's dong. There's 2 movies that Kevin Bacon hung dong in, folks. Wild Things and Tremors. So get them now. Holy shit. Like, and I mean, I'm making it a joke because you can't actually, I mean, maybe you can. Maybe the 4K, I don't have a 4K edition, so maybe if you do zoom in, intergalactic quality gift style, you will get a shot of Kevin Bacon's penis as the beginning of Tremors. And that's where, I don't know, I need to ask Steve about this, Steve and Brent, but I'm always, like, don't want to bring it up. Like, so, the worms, are they a metaphor? I'm not going to say, like, they are a metaphor for dicks or anything like that, but, like, you opened your movie on Kevin Bacon's penis, and then it's a whole movie about Kevin Bacon fighting worms and falling in love. Like, if you're trying to say something, just say it a little louder for the people in the back. Oh, Hollow Man, he hangs his dong too. Hollow Man scares the fuck out of me. I've watched that a couple times. Actually, I've watched that like 3 or 4 times. It was on Sci-Fi Channel, and damn, fucking freaky ass movie. So yeah, hold on. I think there's bugs. I have to go make sure that they're not like fucking up the sound. Yep. God damn it. Hopefully, if you're listening to the podcast, that locust sound has stopped because I live in Iowa And, yeah. So back to Kevin Bacon's penis. Because, again, that is the crux of Tremors. That's all anybody wants. That's not true. A lot of people want Fred Ward's penis, too. And out of the two, if I was gay, it would be for Fred Ward. I don't know. Kevin Bacon is that kind of like... I mean, I get it, but, like, I marry Fred Ward. That's where it's at, bro. Fuck, marry, kill. I marry Fred Ward. So yeah, there's an element of that wokeness already where we're being sexual in front of people without saying anything. And then leads into what people always like ask. Like, there's these two dudes sleeping in the back of a truck. And I always like if they're not gay, it actually I always like that, just like, these are just two friends in the back of a truck hanging out while they're out working. It's almost, that's why I say the bisexual thing, because it's almost better to not just ascribe the straight gayness to it and instead do a whole, like, oh yeah, no, they're friends, but then they met Rhonda, and woo-wee, sparks do fly. So there's that, you know, Dong, hanging out and sleeping, and there's the whole buddiness of it. Honestly, those two act like a married couple most of the time, which then, of course, then leads into the Rhonda thing, and like I said, Earl hitting on Rhonda being ugly, but not really. And then straight after, and then even more so, like, her being a smart person. Like, that's where we've done this thing of, like, she is the smartest person in the movie, and she's the romantic interest. And it's not like, I was gonna say, it's not like it's like forced on you like that, because that is part of the plot. It's more, hey man, it's a good woman over there. You're gonna let her go, walk away, man. Damn, if she was into me, I'd be all over that. Which is a great way of, like, expositing that idea. Yeah, she's smart. This is also our romantic interest. That's what we're doing here. Which, again, immediately followed by Earl chastising him for being a fucking dumbass. Then we go to Chang's, and I don't think it's racist to be having the Chinese guy running the store. Actually, there's always an element. It wasn't until this conversation came up more, and I see this more, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, Asians own, you know, stores and stuff like that, and it's what I love about Forward. It's like, no, like there's that family generational thing where I'm like, yeah, of course Walter's like running this store out here in the middle of the desert, and like, so you got a Chinese person. It's like, am I going to be tallying? Jesus Christ, no, because then I only get two. I was going to say, you get one Chinese person, and then you get Miguel. Like, in terms of racial diversity, I don't know if Tremors 1 is the most woke. Actually, that's always the one, like, iffy about Tremors, is too many ethnic minorities die. And, but plenty of white people, too. So, you know, I'm into that. And our introduction to two of, weirdly enough, I think, and this is where the discussion gets hard, Burt and Heather are some of the most woke characters. And I mean that in terms of flaws. That's what all these are. All right, you for the wokeness to work in that sense, it needs to be flawed. And the only reason that the character of Burt Gummer works is because the idea behind it is that, yes, he's preparing, yes, we're trying to do all these things because there is an eventual thing that's going to happen. The idea of like, yeah, man, but you're not making a really great neighbor when you're doing that. Sure, you are helpful. We're working on that. Like, damn, Bert, like, you're gonna have a heart attack before you die of World War III. That argument on the rocks, kind of sparked by Bert. Bert thinking he's in charge, and not realizing that his guns and ammo and paranoia make him a part of the community. It's all, and this is where Tremors ends up being the most woke thing of all, where no one's right, no one. All right, even Rhonda LeBeck, the person who is posited as the smartest person in the entire group, nobody is right the whole time. Not okay, not the whole time, but I mean like for every single instance. We all make mistakes. There's things that happen. Burt, goddamn. I know Burt Gummer meme stash guy is listening, so I'm trying to make this work. I want my ideas out there. I might have to keep going too, because it's good to have the guns when there's a monster, when there is the monster happening. And the only reason that Burt works inside of the Tremors universe is because of the monsters. When you take that out and it's just like, dude, you're just straight paranoid at what it doesn't seem to be just the government. You're paranoid. Like if somebody ran for mayor of perfection or something, like there would be a level of I hate that. Like he would rail against it. But again, a mayor of 14 people. But then Burt wouldn't also be like, well, shouldn't we all have this completely equal democratic vote? Okay. I feel like I gotta jump ahead because of this explanation. This whole thing about Burt not being what I want to say. I was going to say proper, but that's not right. A kind member of the community, and even learning from it, and everybody's learning from it. And I'm hyper focusing on Burt. I was focusing on Val too, but this is actually let's take that where it's like, yes, Val is the left side, the left side of democracy, and Burt is the right side, and Earl and Rhonda are in the middle. Because there's never one person in the middle. There's always one, flipping side to side. And they're both kind of selfish when you really look at it. And now that I'm in this, okay. And Val's arc over the movie is that he ends up falling in love. He finds somebody. Burt's arc over the movie is that he ends up finding his place in his community. And by that being, this is how I can help people. This is what I can do. I can pull back on some of the crazier things I was doing and focus on, protecting the world from graboids. That's his thing, and that's where I really wish the rest of that character would have gone with the rest of the Don Michael Paul movies, is Burt realizing his paranoia has a price, and that's what the TV show gets into a lot of. So yes, we have one man learning the selfishness of selflessness, and then another learning the selflessness of selfishness. That doesn't make sense, but fucking, I really don't care. I feel like I'm coming back to it. Honestly, I just talk about Burt. It just kind of pisses me off sometimes. Because it's not the memes. Honestly, other meme stash guy, if you're listening, it's not you. And that like trips me up. It's that the dumbasses that can sometimes follow you, where you're just like, God damn, man, like just missing the point of that community thing, where it's always about trying to have as many guns as possible. And I guess that's where that Burt Gummer wokeness thing is that it says to you, yes, these guns have a use, these guns have a purpose, these bombs have a purpose, these are actual tools, these are things that we can use and do stuff with, but they're also going to fucking obliterate you. They do horrible, terrible damage, like if not used properly. That's why Burt is so awesome, is using it properly. It's like if it doesn't, even when you try to plan it, the monster might spit it back out and blow up your whole fucking bag of bombs, and then you're fucked up anyway. And then what good was any of that when you didn't have the a plan farther than that? And I guess what I'm missing here, because I keep forgetting her, because you could tell Stampede wanted to keep going, is that Heather is that anchor to it, where it's just like she is trying to bring like Burt into it. Like, it's not that bringing him down, but just like I always love her line to come on, Nancy, let's get serious about this. We gotta do something. Like she come on, Nancy. No need to get personal. We gotta do something about this. That's where that whole night scene is. This great interplay of all of these people with all of these other arguments that they've had before, and I mean that. Like, imagine the arguments that Nancy and Heather had. Oh my God, can you? Oh my God, can you imagine those two actually like going at each other? And then that fight on the rocks with Val and Burt. That is not the first time that has happened. That is not the first fucking time that has ever happened. Hell no. Holy shit, you can feel that. You can feel the previous, like, we've argued about other things like this before, and now we got to come back to it. And I love Heather in that nighttime scene, because she's literally saying, I have previous grudges with you. I have things that I feel you've wronged me on, and also I am respecting that there are things I have begrudged you on. That, like, we have not seen eye to eye, Nancy. Let's not get personal about this. We have to do something. I don't care. We have to do something. That's the woke. That is the woke, where you go, I'm not gonna, I don't want to focus on how the patriarchy has happened and racism, and I don't want to focus on liberal news media and Obama is coming to kill our babies. Literally saying, it doesn't matter. There is something happening right here, right now. Throw all of that out the window. We're talking, and we need to do something. That is the most woke thing of all. That is being awake. And I guess that's where I didn't really say it. The Matrix thing is the term being awake, being woke, comes from that, in that essence of like, oh, you are out of the machine, you are out of the Matrix, and you see everything. But whenever anybody, and that's where the Cro-Mags use that as a, oh, you're making it more woke. It's like, and then on the opposite end, if you're saying this needs to be more woke in however progressive way you say it, both sides are missing the point. That, like, sure, you woke up out of the machine. You're still in a world where there's tons of people in these machines, and like, you may go like live in your Zion and be happy. Unless everybody's out, we're not awake. Nobody's awake. Nobody is. No, there's not a single one of us that is woke until everybody gets woke up. We are only as strong as our weakest link, as a people, as in everything, as a species. And there is no progress unless all of us progress. All right. Okay. I got to drink a lot because this is Canada Dry. That's all right. I don't drink alcohol. Winks. Talked about Heather and Burt enough here. And then going to a character that people don't respect, Melvin. All right, I think Melvin is more woke than people would give him credit for, and it's why I think a lot of people don't like him, because there is a self-reflection element happening here. Every single person that says, oh, Melvin's a dick, I hate Melvin, blah, 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 and doesn't ask the question, where's Melvin's parents, knows where Melvin's parents are. And all they're saying is that I see myself in Melvin, and I'm really upset that Melvin's making the choices that I would make. Because if you know, Melvin's parents fucking leave him. They go like gambling, and they just leave him in perfection. It's part of the original script, which I'm going to be doing a reading of within the next week or so. And if you can't see like that kid, and at the beginning, you're shit, pizza face, ass wipe. You're gonna be shitting that basketball because he's doing that whole boy that cried wolf thing. But this is another one too. I can always tell people who have actually read the story of the boy who cried wolf and understand what the whole story is actually trying to say. It's not trying to say, oh yeah, if you say over and over again that something's trying to like kill you, eventually we'll just stop listening and we're not going to care. This is what I've always loved about Tremors. There's about it's about 4 times because it does the rule of 1, 2, 3 and then wait for the 4 to jump you with it, where they keep saying fuck you, like Melvin, like you don't knock it off, you're gonna be shitting that basketball, touch that truck and die, come out with the snake, and then the town still goes out. Still, it's like, oh no, Melvin, like he does that final one, and they actually go look. They still go look. Because they're good people. They're good people. It's like, as much as they fucking hate the kid, they know full well, like, Jesus Christ, we gotta try to take care of him. He's a little fucking shit pain in the ass. But, like, we still gotta try. And, of course, oh no, there actually is a graboid. And thank fucking Christ, all of the gods possible, that they went out and saw, because then they got the warning that they needed and were able to run from the graboids, which is the true meaning of the Boy Who Cried Wolf story. If the kid cries over and over and over again that there's a wolf, you should always come running, every single time. It doesn't matter if you know that they might end up like, oh, that's not actually a wolf. Are you losing anything out of it besides just being annoyed? Are you being detrimented besides just being like, this kid's fucking annoying for saying this all the time? No, then whatever. Just go check. Clearly they're crying wolf for a reason. Because then, yeah, I'm talking about the little turd. Yes, Melvin. And then the townsfolk get eaten in the rest of the Boy Who Cried Wolf story. Because shit, man, like the little kid got eaten, and then they got eaten. Because who was there to end up warning them, even if they are a jackass? Do I see a little of myself in Melvin? Perhaps. Not really. I still sympathize. And that's where Tremors wins on that woke factor of like, no, it's jack of all trades, master of none. Oh, that's not the saying. Jack of all trades, master of none. Far better than a master of one. Always finish it. Always finish it. No, Melvin should not get eaten by El Blanco. Melvin deserves a redemption arc. Talked about this with Glenn Maddock, even, where it's like, no. Melvin totally deserves a redemption arc. Like, it's a, like, and then he can die. Then El Blanco can eat him or whatever. But, like, look at Melvin in, like, Tremors 3. Yeah, Tremors 3 in the series. Yeah, he's, like, trying to sell the town. He, like, those people in that town, like, right after he watches Nestor get eaten. And people always think that Nestor's his dad or his uncle or something. And that's why he's crying. No, he's fucking crying because he watched somebody get eaten for the first time. No way, man, no way! They're gonna do something! They're gonna do something! And if you don't fucking feel for that kid in that moment, I don't trust you. I've already... Go back. If there's a person in the chat, I've already said that. That's why you should sympathize with Melvin. His parents were gone. His parents are gone, and a fucking monster attack happens. There's and so that's where I say Melvin and Tremors 3 and Tremors, the series, I completely buy why this guy wants to just buy this town and go and just fucking bulldoze it. Because right after fucking, oh, no way, man, they say, yeah, yo, Melvin, you want to make a buck? Yeah, I need it. That kid was absolutely traumatized. And their response was like, hey, can we use you as a decoy? No, you cannot use me as a decoy. Fuck you. That's actually something I love in Andrew Miller's Tremors pilot script, is that Melvin actually calls him out for that. Val is there and he's talking about the graboids are back and all this bullshit, and Melvin doesn't believe him, and Mindy's there, and Mindy's kind of playing Val off as a hero and being like, come on, if it wasn't for him, we would have all been dead. And then Melvin is like, he didn't care about me, he tried to save you. He tried to use me as worm bait. Like, he just straight up says it to him. I fucking love it. I want the pilot released for that one goddamn sentence. I mean that. And so that's where all of that trauma, everything that happened, that's where the wokeness, Tremors is woke. Of like, that's for Melvin to just come back in Tremors 3 and be like, nah, I wouldn't wish this place on anybody. Like, fucking, if you don't feel bad, if you, like, you got to reevaluate some things in your life. You do. You got to look in that mirror and ask yourself some questions about how much you just might be a Melvin yourself. Because, yeah, Melvin deserves a redemption arc. Like, legit. I wasn't talking to you either, Paige. I was speaking more in generality. I saw you there. I'm like speaking like as a whole. Like if because I've seen it too, where so many people say, "Oh, I wish he'd gotten, just wish he'd gotten eaten." And you're like, no, like if you're wishing that somebody got eaten, like, god damn it. Yeah. I know we talked about it. Not everybody was there for that. Remember, this is a whole new episode, Paige. I still have to bring it back and recap for people who didn't know, who weren't there. Because you know what? Not everybody listens to a podcast from the beginning. It's the weirdest. Yes, his character is very flawed. But that brings it into the wokes. Just so you know, Paige, this whole conversation is Tremors is woke. That's what we're doing here. Tremors is woke, already was woke, already been woke. Uh-huh. Woo! Okay. So we got Melvin the kid. I was going to say something about, like, Mindy. It's so weird. People always call this out, like, Mindy's just off bouncing around all the time. There's a, like, scary thing happening. And, yeah, Nancy doesn't ever, like, actually, that's a level of wokeness where, like, Nancy's a bad mom. And I mean, yeah, Nancy's, like, actually one of my favorite, actually, Nancy in the TV show is my, like, by far, like, top 3 Tremors favorite characters. No. I was saying there's a level of she is a bad mom in that first one. She's not, like, 100% paying attention to her daughter. And that's, like, that's just reality sometimes. I don't mean that like a bad mom. I guess that's not the right way to put it. She's just not, like, fully aware in that sense. And so, yeah, not a great mom, Nancy, in the first one. And then even in the third one, too, like, her tete-a-tetes with Mindy are really great. Even actually, there's a level of wokeness in the first Tremors movie. Nancy's a single mom. Oh my god, yeah, yeah. Nancy's a single mom out in the middle of the desert, like, and it's not like a thing. Like, she's out there doing it. She has a whole pottery business. I always laugh because it's like, damn, like, you got enough of a pottery business to be doing, like, getting a kiln and getting that. Damn, shit, girl, you must be, like, selling it like crazy. And then you see in Tremors the series, it's like the biggest thing that they have in Chang's is her ceramics. But yeah, we got a single mom who works too hard, loves her kids, and never stops. And it's not Reba. Holy shit. So that's a joke. The Spooky Tuesday podcast, they just did a Tremors episode called Margaritaville. And it was fucking hilarious because they just, to them, Reba was the star of that movie, and I don't necessarily disagree with top billing in that movie goes to Reba. I mean that, folks. And what's funny is that now Reba, if you were to make a Tremors movie now, Reba would be top bill. It wouldn't. Shit. Water down the wrong pipe. If you were to make a Tremors movie, even with Kevin Bacon, and it had Reba in it, it would say Reba and Kevin Bacon. Because not many people can get away with one name. Elvis, Cher, Jesus, and Reba. Did I just compare Reba to Jesus? You goddamn right I did. But anyway, Nancy, like I said, single mom out in the desert. Very woke. Very progressive because nothing's drawn to it. It's not like a big deal. And it's not like she's hitting on anybody either. You don't get any vibes between her, Nestor, her, and Walter. I know, like that's just, she's just living. She's living her life. Her and Cletus though. Okay, now that's a thing. I'm talking about the first movie, but Nancy and Cletus in the TV show. There's some vibes. Yeah, no, Nancy and Cletus for the win. I'm always Nancy and Burt, but now I will. Okay, Paige just said Nancy and Cletus, and Nancy and Cletus. Nancy and Cletus. Sorry. What? Oh! Clancy. Oh, Clancy. God damn it, Paige. So Nancy, progressive, wokeness, Miguel, honestly, the one, honestly, he's not like dumb. He's actually, now that I think of it, Miguel does a lot of like what Earl's doing, where he's always trying to come up with like, so like we don't vibrate, right? Or hey, Walter's tractor, let him run all over, like let them chase that. And even Miguel actually comes up with some plans and stuff. Actually, fairly well. And then even to go with the woke thing, like Nestor, the whitest of the white people, is probably drunk most of the time, as we discover in Tremors 3. He has a drinking problem, and I always like that idea that like the reason that Nestor got on the tire was he was drunk, like, and just like couldn't see anything from down there, but then it was also just a little shit faced, because there's giant monsters coming, and so you'd have a drink. Gonna have me a little drinky poo around. You know why? Because there's a graboid blizzard. Shit graboids, Rand. Shit graboids. Yeah. I always like white people dying. That's weird to say, right? I'm so white. Look at that. White. Trying to go through all the characters. And the other white guy dies because he's stupid. That thing with the dock and the generator dies because hey man, just don't investigate. So yeah, I'm trying to go through all the progressive wokeness in it. We got Rhonda, scientist, Burt Gummer, Heather Gummer. Oh, actually, shit, man. Like, and the true woke progressiveness of Tremors is that, and this is where I like to use the term, like people, just regular old peoply peoples. All of them right, all of them wrong. With many shades in between, and we listen to scientists when we need to, but then also we ask them stupid questions like, these creatures are absolutely unprecedented. Yeah, but where did they come from? Like, but then on the flip side of that, like, Burt, you're gonna have a heart attack before you get a chance to survive World War III. And then thank God that Burt was ready to survive World War III, because I will always point out too, it's not his guns that do it. It's his know-how. It's his know-how to make bombs. That's That's real warfare. I always go back to, it's not just guns. Like, that's the easy, what you think of in your mind. But warfare is strategy and tactics, and having to actually have things in your brain and remember them and know them and be able to use them for later. And that is 10,000% Burt Gummer. And that's where like, I kind of halfway said it at the beginning. Look at Steve and Brent as people. You know, Steve was drafted into the military for Vietnam in 73. I can never get that timeline right. 72? Shit, man. I don't like war, so I don't like to remember the dates. I just remember that it happened. And so he got drafted, didn't want to, and he actually thankfully spent most of his time doing film work, film studies. And then, like I said, Brent, who comes from, NYC area, growing up, and like, actually they moved so many times too. And if you have a kid, like, man, watch a kid grow up having to move everywhere to 9 different states, as I was finding out in the Glenn Maddock interview. Just like, damn, man, like, yeah, you can't tell me that, like, a guy that didn't want to be in a war and was there and just took pictures of it, film, and a guy that grew up making comedy skits as he traveled around 9 different states, that these two people didn't come together and try to make something truly progressive, even for that time. And that's where the woke. That's what true. We're trying to wake everybody up. Everybody getting woke up. Both sides of this. We want the Valentines and we want the Burt Gummers. These both sides need to come together and realize that being woke means just, let's do something. Come on, Nancy. Let's not get personal about this. We got to do something. Fuck yeah. That's just Tremors 1. Shit, man. Now I'm like, damn. And if you take the original Tremors 1, like, the ending, the true ending of it is that, like, oh, Val and Earl are supposed to ride off into the sunset halfway, and Earl is literally chastising him for, like, God, like, you just throw a good woman like that away. God damn it, Valentine, how much I gotta say this? And then trying to find a lighter, and no lighter, and then Val, well, hell, let's get a lighter, and making that, oh yeah, I need you, Earl, and I need Rhonda. I need both of these people in my life. That's where I say the bisexual thing is. It's not a gay thing. Is that Val needs Earl and he needs Rhonda, which leads me into Tremors 2, because Earl needs his Val. All right, folks. Like, there's that, and this is where I'm so sad that I don't live in the timeline where Fred Ward didn't fucking die, because, goddamn, that man is despondent that he does not have his best friend anymore. It is the graboids. There's that PTSD fear, chalking it up or whatever. But that man misses his friend a lot. And you know what? That's a good level of wokeness there, where admitting a weakness of, I miss a guy that I used to just hang out with a lot. The people talk about that, like, oh, I haven't seen my friends in so long, and so they're not I don't know if we're still friends anymore and stuff. And it's like, I think that true friendship thing is always there on the table. You always be going back to it. And I see now I'm muddling, because I know the original script in my head and I know what happened. Like, Earl and Val maybe got, like, an argument one time and it, like, pushed them away, and I'm always just like, oh, damn it, just call him up, Earl. Just call him back up. Say I love you. I love you, Val. I just wanted to know that. The sweet sound of your voice as I drift to sleep. It's pretty nice. I love you too, Earl. I love the way you snore. And then Rhonda again. Could you two get a room, please? With me in it, preferably. Rhonda walks in with a pegging strap. Yeah, and just that you can tell Earl misses his buddy. And then in the original script, there's that great, like, Earl is kind of like, man, you could have had Rhonda. We could have had a great threesome, but you just fucked it up, man. So Tremors 2. And here's another weird one. Like, to have your character, it's just totally random. I always love the transformation of Earl, like growing his hair longer, and it's just straight up, who gives a shit? He's just happily sexually androgynous, and you're just like, all right, moving on, movie. Nice, I'm into it. So I'm skirting some things here on Tremors 2 because I'm thinking in my mind where it's like, I do have to say, like, I know that the idea was originally kind of like Australia, but like there's too many Mexicans that die in this movie. And it's a little, maybe that is woke too. Maybe that's like the ultimate wokeness sometimes, is killing minorities. Oh my god. Maybe it is. Maybe the truly being awake is knowing that when you go to another country, the majority of people that you're going to end up killing are minorities. Because that's what Americans do. Oh man, maybe that's like a metaphor there. I'm not fully prepared to unpack. I gotta say this. Tremors 2 has what I feel is one of the greatest, most sex-positive scenes, sex work-positive scenes. Where, Earl has the, you see what she's doing? She's up there so I can masturbate to her all day. And then later on, oh my god, I used to masturbate. Like, that is legit what he's saying. And then there's no, like, and that's kind of weird. He's just like, oh, well, okay. I guess that's life. And the movie doesn't even make it a thing of trying to like shame her. The original script is weird about it. They shoehorn that in, but I love what they do in the movie. Where it's just like, yeah, I just had to like make some money. Man, I made some money, and now I'm a geologist. It's just like, hey, man, nice. Sex work positive, and I don't mean that they're positive because of the sex work. They're negative. They don't have AIDS, is what I mean. But maybe they... Oh, okay. Yeah. your Playboy bunnies can become geologists. That's really the point that I was trying to make there. And there's a thing to be said about the character of Grady. As a super fan, before that idea of the super fan like became a thing in pop culture, in that essence, Grady gives me when I see people complain about Grady, it gives me a lot of the same vibes as people complaining about Melvin, where it's like, were you watching everything all the way through? Were you paying attention? Because Grady has a great level of like, yeah, man, I'm here for the 50 G's, and like, it's graboids, and I loved you in that Reebok commercial. And he's like just playing, like he's literally playing fast and loose with the concept of death. Like he thinks he is so far removed from it that he thinks that like, yeah, it's kind of funny. It'll be easy for you. Like, killing those worms is nothing, and it is. But then this is where I love Grady, is that his turn from being like, yeah, man, this is totally cool. Oh my god, you're cutting this off, man. It's like, dude, it's on purpose. And all of this, like, the last hour of the movie where he was not paying attention fucking hits him like a brick. And then Earl becomes, like, his panic and his paranoia becomes, this is what I'm trying to tell you fucking shit. Is a very woke idea of, you didn't care about death. You were not. I watched Earl literally tries to say to him, I watched my friends die to these things ate people I knowed and cared for and loved. And Grady's like, yeah, man, I know, because I saw that on Good Morning America. And Earl, probably just, oh my god, Jesus Christ. And finally, oh no, oh my god, they're gonna kill me too. They're gonna kill me too. This is horrifying. And I should have respected life and death a little bit more. And honestly, Tremors isn't that kind of movie, but it's always like, man, wouldn't there be a great, like, just Grady, like, just got fucking biffed it on that. I say that, I'll take that back, because it's more like, nah, it's better if he learns and lives. That's the more woke thing. Here's a piece of wokeness. When they literally show up to the refinery, Pedro walks up to them and he's speaking Spanish. And Earl and Grady, I got nothing. And they don't translate it. They just have another guy come up and just like, Pedro, you're kind of being a little much. Would you just like walk away? And there's no like, do we need to know? Are we gonna find out more? It's like, oh no, we just don't speak the language, and that's our fucking fault because we came to Mexico. And then, of course, then they have their little dictionaries, like, and that's a level of wokeness too, where they both like Burt has his dictionary and Kate has hers, which means that Grady and Earl didn't fucking bring one. And they're flipping through it because you know that they're different because they come up with different names for comida. I think it's shit. God damn it. Which is comida, which is food. Rice flour, actually. Sweet. I love the sweet snack food. Rice flour. They literally have different definitions in their dictionary. And we have to learn the language. We should be learning the language. Yes, that's very woke. Please stay progressive. Even to make that callback towards Grady not taking life and death seriously, when asked about the name of graboids, Earl is like, "Yeah, a friend of ours named him," and then they ate him, and he's straight up almost saying like, "Yeah, because Walter just couldn't shut up about the fucking name, so they ate him. He wasn't paying attention." And motherfucker got 8. Now I'm trying to go through the wokeness. Oh! I got such a good one. Is someone behind me? Okay. The most woke fucking thing in all of Tremors, I love this, is Shriekers. You want to know why? They're asexual hermaphrodites. Yeah. Non-gender, non-binary, specific motherfuckers. Seriously, man. Shriekers are the transgendered people of the monster world. And I say that in full confidence. Yeah. You can't tell me that monster ain't woke. That concept ain't woke. Oh, no, they don't. And I love Burt's that, well, he's quite an itch. Just that little bit of jealousy of like, damn, so you're telling me I wouldn't meet Heather and I could just, like, eat a bunch of Doritos and cough up another Burt? Well, I like that. That shit's woke, man. Shriekers is woke. I have stated several times my personal dispreference for, like, you can't, like, graboids, shriekers, and ass blasters are asexual beings. Stop drawing them with boobs and penises. This isn't Game of Thrones. Draw them with non-gender specific super genitals. I don't know, but put a little more effort into it. Your boobs should have penises for nipples. Your penises should have vaginas for tips. Get on it, internet. That's you. You better do that. Please don't. For the love of God, please don't do that. Oh my. I put it out there. It's already going to happen. I was going to try to take it back, but too late. Which brings me to Burt Gummer. And I guess this is why I was struggling, because a lot of what I have to say about Burt Gummer is a cross-sectional thing that you have to look across the entire series for. The wokeness of that relationship with him and Heather just deteriorating. The movie saying the cost of your paranoia was your wife, was your life, was the things that you thought you loved. And was that worth it, Burt? Probably not. You've asked Burt Gummer, he probably would have been like, well, shit, I'm going to worry about it a little less. And I absolutely love that him and Earl just talk. Inside of that, they have two real conversations as friends, saying, like, I see where Heather's coming from. I also see where you're coming from. And as your friend, I love you. I'm here for you. I care. When called me and told me to send her the HK91, and Earl's, ouch. And I'm doing it. I'm overacting it for the podcast viewers, but Fred Ward's face on that, it's just like, it goes back to, you can tell how many arguments, how many discussions all of these people have had in Chang's. How many Chang talks were there over the years? It's something I've always thought, man, if you wanted to mine, like, using the characters for other things, just dial the clock anywhere at Chang's and you'd get a really interesting conversation. But saying to, like, yeah, no, Burt, like, your lifestyle led to this, but also your lifestyle is kind of helpful in this situation. But then even more saying, like, yeah, but also, geez, you brought so many bombs, you blew up the entire refinery. like literally, man, like, it is excessive, and even Burt says it's excessive. Literally, 4 pounds of C4 may be a little excessive. He knows it, and you gotta try to be better about it. That's wokeness. That was Burt from the first movie, learning that community thing, and you can even say that's why he, like, showed up full tit bore for Earl. Not so much for the graboids, but he's like, my friend needs me, and I'm coming hot. I'm gonna bring everything I got. And as he chastised, you guys asked for 1 case of dynamite. All I had to do was give him a list. But still not being enough. That's the wokeness. That's the reality. I guess that's when I'm trying to use this term woke. It's reality. That's the reality of the situation, which is why, like, I'm having a real hard time, because I want to talk about, like, the Mexican people dying, but I'm like, is it? Because in the script, it really wasn't Mexican people dying. Like, it's like, and it is. Actually, I take that back. Hold on. Yeah. Well, because the scene, it opens with the banditos, and again, if you're in another country, is it racist for the people of that country to be dying more often? I don't. That's where Tremors 5 ends up getting a win, because, like, a total of 1 black guy died. Or is that weird? Because, like, 1 black guy dies, and then 4 white people die in Africa. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, because this. Ooh, okay. And yeah, Tremors 2 ends. It also teaches you about fiscal responsibility. Make sure you invest it in a good enterprise, and you will always pay dividends. Tremors 3 is Tremors 3, man, and God, it's such an odd movie. I don't know. I always gotta watch. It's not about watching it more. It's confusing to me. Like I said, Jodie Chang being the store owner. Progressive. Sorry, I was trying. And I love that she's got a straight up business model, and that's the chastising of the Jack character. It's like, no, you're just a fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing here, man? Miguel out living his life, doing his thing. uh, there's I was gonna say it's woke, but I always love this level of like reality where everybody in town let their graboid monitors go down because they knew Burt would probably keep his going, like, and just like, oh, like, god damn it, guys, like, where is the teamwork on that? There's a little bit of woke, like, oh yeah, we all kind of fucked up because we were depending on you. Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah. I guess I'll talk about what was not woke, and it's what's hanging me up in my mind, which is that like whole Buford thing, of him being kind of weird and rapey. Although Steve has straight up said on the fact that that's not like he wasn't gonna like try to rape her or anything. It was just more him being weird, but they didn't get the tone right. They didn't set that right, and it didn't play as well as they thought it would. So that's a mistake. And ouch, I feel for them on that one. Is that woke? Is it woke to have a rapey guy in your movie? But the rapey guy got killed, so that's pretty woke. Okay. There's a level of wokeness too where Mindy is pining for another guy. Like you were not doing, oh, she was a little girl, and that's like, oh, that's gross. It's like, I'm not, man. The chick grew up. She's her own woman now. You know, she wants to chase Jack. She won't chase Jack. Let her get her Jack on. She just wants to jack off. It was right there. Sorry, folks. I couldn't help myself. That's definitely woke, I would say. That progressive female mindset. We're not going to slut shame you because you just want some D. I get it. I get it, girl. Oh, smash that put. Smash that put. Smash it up and get it gush. That was wrong. Miguel, Minnie. Okay, there's this great. This is where the Burt, as I'm going here, woke does totally mean the government is bad. All right, and I don't mean all government because that's that boogeyman thing. But just like, yeah, I mean, there's a hindrance. There's things that are going to happen here that are just like, just you make our lives worse. And that scene where the government shows up and Burt literally gets to call back to eminent domain, and people call me paranoid. I don't think you're paranoid. I do. And I'm no more. and that scene right there is very woke to me. Just that like 15-second interchange, because it's that flawed thing where we're saying, like, Miguel straight up saying, I thought you were paranoid. Fuck, man, like, I guess you were right. And it's funny because that's even coming from the Mexican character who you would think would have a little bit more of that, oh, you know, I understand the government, but it's like, oh no, that's the more woke thing, to go even more flip side in the opposite direction. And, you know, he's working with the BLM with his cattle and stuff. Yes, he's working with the Black Lives Matter with his cattle, working with the government. But then this is where, and I'll work into Tremors the series there, I love the character of W.D. Twitchell, because it becomes this act of the government overstepped their bounds a little bit in the first movie, in the third movie, by coming in and saying, you have to be completely out, you're gone. The only thing that matters are these monsters that could kill us at any moment, and we're gonna only care about them, which is something like, that's something that people on the left and the right can both agree about. Is like, you know, sometimes you focus on the wrong problem here, government. 87,000 IRS tax agents. Please tell me that you're gonna start fucking taxing the rich people. You know, that's the woke. And I love in Tremors the series where where W.D. Twitchell comes in, and it becomes less oversight and more, I was gonna say it becomes less management and more oversight. You know, just like, I've always thought that that's what real cops should do. If you're like truly police officer, it should be less about like actively going to do things. You should always be on the lookout. You should be Batman, like everywhere, just like watching and waiting. Are they gonna kill a graboid? If they do, I'm gonna take pictures, and they'll owe a $50,000 fine. Yeah, I'm W.D. Twitchell. Because that's authority to me. Right? People that believe in God or gods or whatever that you want to, what you're talking about is an authority that's above you, that's always seeing what you're doing and making sure you stay on a straight and narrow. And that's where WD Twitchell comes in, because then he starts to learn that like he doesn't need to even oversight the town. It's about facilitating. It's about putting Gummer in the right places, getting things done, moving it around, and making sure nobody breaks the rules while it happens. But the government oversteps their bounds in this one, and then and even so in 3 they make it a point immediately after of, oh, we were using trank darts, but it, couldn't get it to penetrate the dirt. And then Burt, oh, typical. I could get a graboid to swallow this with this for $49.95. And then you can dig it up and take it off to Area 51 or whatever fits your plausible deniability. But straight up saying that, like, your idea as the government is fucking dumb. Please, for the love of God, could I help you? And that's where I want to say that to the Burt Gummer people. Burt Gummer Meme Stash Guy. That's my message to you. Where it's about, I get the libertarian, independent mindset, and I get the fears of the socialism. May we come together here and start volunteering more in our community to do good things. That's all. That's what I gotta say on that. Can we start doing good things? Can we volunteer more? Because that's what Burt Gummer does in the end. And he does get paid for it. But also, he knows what he's doing with his time. He's giving it up for free. And he's doing it, like, yeah, government, you guys are wrong. Like, you could literally squander the taxpayers' dollars or $50. Which one do you guys want to do? And it's smart. Thank you, Burt. That's woke. Like, that, again, saying, yes, I need you, I understand why. Can we do this a different way? Government guys get eaten, and, man, I don't even want to count Miguel as dying, because that, it always goes back to, that was, Stampede so regrets that, because oh yeah, you guys, this is your last film. That Universal said that, and they're like, okay, well, if it's our last film, let's, make it a last film. And so, you tried to kill off a character to, give it some push. You're like, oh, well, shit. And Tony wanted to come back. I always say, they were going to write him in. I always loved that, where they were going to write him into season 2, his brother, or, you get, a twin or another nephew or something that looks like him. And I gotta say, the name Ass Blaster is truly progressive, folks. I will hear no complaints about the name Ass Blaster. And I mean that I've had to personally come around on it over the years. I was there in 2001 when that DVD came out and played on the Sci-Fi Channel. I remember hearing the name Ass Blaster and being like, that's a weird fucking name. But also being like, Ass Blaster, Ass Blaster, Ass Blaster. So fuck you guys. That's a great name, especially when you consider that they only did it to say fuck you to the MPAA for taking out all of their swear words in the first movie. Fuck a bunch of you. Now everybody gets to say Ass Blaster, free of charge. Whew. This is coffee, too, folks. You can see, but it's in a Carnival mug because it was only $5, and it's great. Fits all my coffee. She got all graboid on me, so I was ass blasting her and turned her into a shrieker. That's the tagline for Gum Her Down Under. Right there, folks. Boom. Shaboom. She got all graboid on me, so I was ass blasting her and turned her into a shrieker. Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa. I was talking about ass blasters. It's easy to get off track when you're talking about blasting ass. Yeah, truly progressive name, and then even straight up sounds like a porno film. And you know what? Jody was still like, I don't care. Yeah, you know what, Jack? I have that specific porno in the back room of Chang's. And I've watched it dozens of times. So maybe I did take the name Ass Blaster from that. I really don't fucking care. Because guess what? I'm going to make all of the money off of the name. So eat my cunt. Ha. That's my new canon for that. Jody has ass blasters in space in the back of Chang's. That's a video you can rent. Ass blasting keeps the GOP from having any say about your womb. Oh dear God. Oh dear God in heaven. Ugh. But yeah, Jody's got ass blasters in the rear, ass blasters part 2, ass blasters in the west, ass blasters the legend begins, ass blasters bloodlines, ass blasters Shrieker. Actually, ass blasters in Paris. Yeah, all of those titles are available to rent at your local Chang's Market anytime you feel. Get your Swiss cheese bullets. I'm eyeing a lot because of the shame. Ass blasters, the one true brown ring. Oh, Cultivad. Oh, you are beautifully disgusting. One shriek to rule them all, one grab to bind them, one ass blaster to forge them all, and in the darkness, behind them. If you're only listening in podcast land, you need some visuals. Please, there's a YouTube channel. Go check it. Thank you, Tremors Saga, for putting this up there too. I always appreciate you guys that my weird little ass blasting podcast gets put next to behind the scenes VFX reels and Steve Wilson Q&As. Ass blasting is how you get a nutty buddy. So ass blasters is woke, is the point here, folks. Very woke. Jesus Christ. And god damn it, they're just so... Ass blasters are woke. I think that's it, but I was gonna go with more for Tremors 3, but really just ending on this idea that no, ass blasters are already very woke. Yeah, dude, I've been sidetracked for more than an hour. Don't worry. Actually, I've kept it fairly on the rails. People will have a narrative of which they can dissect and figure this out from. Because I don't believe in editing besides the beginning and the middle. Beginning and the end. You get the middle. I take out the parts where I'm not smoking marijuana, because that's not a thing. That's totally not real. And you just get all this bullshit in the middle. You get me ass blasting you off for a while. Which leads me to Tremors the series. And it's not so much every episode of this, but I want to talk about nipples for a second here, folks. And still haven't talked to Gladys Jimenez. Honestly, I think she's busy. We're always emailing her, and she just never gets back. And I think our emails might be going to spam. I hope not. Gladys, if you're listening, please email all of us back. Thank you. That nipple scene, man, I've started to come around on as a sense of female empowerment. So you know what? You only get one life to live. You want to get out there, and you want people to remember you. You know, I look at people are always telling me how hot and sexy I am on this. I'm like, oh my god, jeez, ugh, thanks Christ. But also, okay, that's fine. All right, I'll be hot and sexy for you. What's up? What am I doing under the screen? Oh, you don't know. Got you. And yeah, that nipple scene, bro. Fucking yeah, man. Flash them titties. For all of time, and show everybody just how hot and supple you were, and be like, fuck yeah, man. Yeah, I was in Tremors, and you got to see my tight white breasts. What's up? My only problem is that shirt is really weird. I think that shirt was just a cast or wardrobe that day. What were you thinking? That was my one. My one. Can we get a gray shirt? Can we get, like Kate in Tremors 2? Can we get a nice gray shirt? I would appreciate that. The white is just a little leaned on the camp a bit too much there. So there's that. There's a great episode of the TV show where the ass blaster again, and there's these two guys that actually come to like try to help like capture it or whatever, and they both end up learning. You get, because Burt Gummer's basically telling them they're wrong the whole time, and they're telling Burt Gummer that he's wrong the whole time or whatever. And the actual true way that you get it solved is you take the Burt Gummer way and you take their way, and then you add it with the Nancy way, and you put them all in the middle, and you throw a macrame hammock over it. You got to do all of these things. Actually, there's a great line in that episode where actually the whole, because I'll say the rest of it. Hold on, before I get to that line, Burt literally gets taken aside by Nancy because the ass blaster, or gets taken aside by Jody because the ass blaster's there and is putting a kink in his Burt Gummer survival school plans. He has a whole class there of people, like half a dozen guys, and Jody's like, Burt's gonna like cancel the class because there's an ass blaster, and Jody's like, you can't do this you can't, like, we have to like do this class to get you your word of mouth. And then she's like, well, Nancy, Rosalita, and I will teach the class. And Bert's like, don't be ridiculous, just a bunch of girls. And then Jody just like dead stares at women, a bunch of women. And then Jody, nice save, Burt. just like whatever, man. Like, you already said it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I heard your feelings on my gender. Thank you. And Jody straight up says, like, you know what? There's a lot of things that we know about survival that you might not know. And ends up, Burt like halfway gets pushed out of the class. And like I said, Jody, Nancy, and Rosalita then teach Burt Gummer's survival school class. Rosalita does the self-defense course. Jody does the more Burt style like thing, and then Nancy actually has macrame. Like, that's where, like, has a whole like class of like, oh, we'll make rope with yarn and stuff. And the ass blaster is only there because of her, and there's a level of progressiveness there where like it's saying, yeah, I sold this thing for a bunch of money, and then it went and killed people. And am I a bad person for that? And in the episode, like, and Burt and her actually have the talk. It was just like, no, you're not. Like, you're just trying to like put your daughter through college. Like, these things happened, and I'm not gonna like blame you. It's that, come on, Nancy, don't be personal. We got to do something about this. And so she's teaching this macrame class, and she legit blows up on this guy because he's like, you know, I think I'd rather be feel a lot more useful out there helping Burt than doing whatever this is. And she, oh, do you? Well, clearly you have never needed rope before, or a hammock, or a stretcher to carry the wounded, like someone whose body was burnt in half. And just like, oh yeah, you're gonna need things. You don't always need guns and fires. Like, sometimes you need things to actually pick up and carry. You need to learn how to sew. You need to learn how to macrame. And that's actually how the crux of the episode gets solved, is that they make this hammock. They're all making this hammock or whatever, and they get the ass blaster on the ground, and they have to, like, Nancy, guys, do something, and they throw the hammock over the ass blaster to catch it. And, like, that is like, with an episode with Rosalita showing her nipples and the other women doing all of this, I have to ask myself, like, was this not the plan? Was this not what you were trying to do? Because I sense a theme. I sense a theme of strong, independent women just fucking putting that coos out. And Jesus Christ. Please forgive me, folks, for saying putting that coos out. Now I've said it twice. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yes, strong, independent women being able to do the same exact thing that Burt Gummer does. Totally fair. That's why I love Heather in the first movie. And you have to notice that in that scene, Burt gets got in the first rec room scene and is being pulled to the graboid, and if it wasn't for Heather being there, Burt would have died. So that's pretty fucking progressive. Pretty woke. Even what I was saying about W.D. Twitchell, like the government agent, the ultimate wokeness is finding that true government agencies are just pyramids of people who know less than the person above them. And it's always just a constantly escalating shit pile of who knows what, who doesn't. And that scene in the Ghost Dance episode where there's a government guy that comes, and Twitchell, who is their government liaison, comes up. He's like, hey, like, this is my little park. Yeah, I feel like I have a need to know. And the guy's like, well, what are you? G11? G12? You're trying to get a career job? This is off your plate. Just leave it alone. And like, oh, wow. Like, there's that shit stack. There's always another government employee higher than you. But then I love Twitchell's retort of, G13, pal. And then just walks away. And then even more so, later on, that same government guy who's an asshole to Twitchell sees one of his partners gets sucked dry by a moisture monster. And I was gonna say, like, comes around. I love that this guy's just constantly a dick and just does and just hinders them. Like, it's a true, like, that's if you're gonna look at the differences in what your government system should be. You know, Twitchell just walks away because he can't do anything, and then this other guy literally just like sits there and is like, yeah, I have the information I'm not gonna give you. And Christopher Lloyd has to rip it out of his hands and just say, oh, I already know that it's this, and this, and this, and this. And, well, how do you know that? Well, yeah, because I'm the same guy as you. Like, shut the fuck up. And then even later on, like, they're literally trying to, like, cobble together a vacuum suction pack thing. And all this guy can do is just fucking, like, oh, it's not going to work. I'm going to keep trying to, like, tell you people. And Christopher Lloyd, do you have anything positive to add to this equation? It's like, God, shut up already. Like, we get it. You're here. You're doing your job thing, and it's fuck off, man. Just leave us the fuck out of it. Like, at least Twitchell like left. So yeah, that's the woke. Which both sides of the government. Government is not this huge overflowing shadow entity of things. It is people. It is made up of cogs in the system all the way throughout. And yeah, you might take one cog out, might do that. It just grinds. It's just a grinder wheel. That's the most woke thing of all. And I know that's what Steve and Brent's ideas were. Michael Gross too, because he's executive producing for that. Where it's like, no, like these are just people all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. I've always thought that if you ever got to the top of the Proudfoot Trilateral Corporation mystery, you're just gonna find people that were just trying to make a bunch of money. They literally saw this opportunity and just tried to fucking capitalize on it, just make a bunch of fucking money. And that's not saying that that's right. It's more saying, well, that doesn't make them a big boogeyman. That just makes them assholes. Like, I've always thought that's far harder to deal with. Like, that people are just assholes. You can aggrandize and you can make a boogeyman and a shadow person, and you can, and that's the point of a shadow, is that you can put whatever the fuck you want into it, and it doesn't matter. But when you just say, this person is an asshole, and it's just kind of like making my life worse, that's a lot harder to deal with. That's a lot, and to bring that to Melvin, so Melvin is an asshole. That's where, like, if I'll start to say Melvin can get eaten around that water hazard episode, and even then, it's not about him being malicious. He's just trying to make money. His biggest crime he commits several felonies actually in that one episode. But I think his biggest crime is he basically busts a pipe and lets a bunch of gas literally leak into a lake, so that way it kills a creature. And it's only done because he wants to make more money. They come in. There's a shrimp monster in his golf course. Like that's the crux of the episode, is that Melvin Plug has a shrimp monster in his golf course, and he doesn't want it to be there because he wants to like be able to make money off his golf course, man. Like I got prospective buyers coming in a week, and it's, I mean, we can all we don't have to agree, but we can all empathize with that. Where it's just like, I'm trying to get a job done, I'm trying to make money, I'm trying to keep it going. And yeah, like I said, he basically dumps a bunch of gas into it and tries to kill a monster, but it ends up crawling out. And I do miss. I said that's his biggest crime. I am missing how he actually literally takes the water out of Perfection and trucks it across like all the way to Bixby. That's a pretty big. That's a esta no bueno, señorita, right there. That's bad crime. That's a bad crime. What I was trying to say though is that it's money. Like it's not. He's not trying to be mean. He's not trying to hurt people. He's just trying to make money. And I found that as I work with Universal, or not work with, because you can't fucking work with those people. Work against those people is because that's all. That's bottom dollar. Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Money now. And I think the wokest thing of all is that, you know, we maybe we don't need gigantic studios and things like that, like to do things. I believe in companies and things, but like at a certain point, you start to be like, what are you monopolizing the entire industry and making it so no creative things can ever be created because you have everything under lock and key? I mean, what do I know? What do I know about that? It's not like I have a whole fucking podcast about exactly that. But yeah, Melvin being an asshole is very woke. It's also saying that, like, and then him trying to buy the town is what I was talking about earlier. It was like, no, like, why does he have to save it? And I'm not saying that like, oh man, Perfection deserves. I have the reasons for why like he should save it. But like in Melvin's eyes, why would he feel like he wants that around? It's like a reminder. It's like having to see like a reminder of the guy who raped you. Like there's a statue in the middle of town, and like nobody wants to take it down because like, well, we were all raped, so like we all have to look at the statue. Holy shit. That's kind of what it's like. Oh my god. Which I'll say something about abortion right now. I'm pretty sure Stampede is pro-abortion. I don't know why I have to say that. I know I am. And because it's about that sense of community. What are you doing? What are your choices? If you feel like you need to do things. I'm ham-fistedly trying to shove real-world topics into this. It's not going great. It's going pretty good, actually. It's not too bad. So Tremors the series, Melvin. Here's one of what I think is one of the most progressive woke characters is fucking Tyler, man. And it goes back to that sometimes the more woke thing is the white dude that learns something. Maybe it's because I'm a white person learning things. And like Tyler's acceptance of improvising and I don't know everything, but I'm gonna fucking learn. Like, there's never a point in the series where Tyler is saying, I know everything about this and you need to listen to me. I'm gonna mansplain it to you. That's Burt. Like, you get that from Burt. But he has a fucking reason to mansplain to you sometimes. Like, there's a level of, like, we're gonna listen to Burt. But Tyler is just always game. Tyler is there's a bisexual icon right there. I have read way too much fan fiction where Tyler is bisexual to know that, that man is... I get it, ladies and men. Yeah, I get it. So that's progressive. And I was going to say listening to your elders, because that's not what he does with Burt, but knowing that he knows his relationship with Burt, and he knows that, like, hey, this is what you bring to the table, but this is also what I bring to the table. There's a great conversation where Burt's basically being like, I don't need you. Like, what do you do? Oh, you want to go there? I cover your paramilitary paranoid ass. I make you user friendly out there in the field. Like that's the line too. I make you user friendly out there in the field. It's like my charm brings a lot to this situation that I don't think you're fucking respecting. And then Burt ends up, well, yeah, okay, I gotta respect you a little bit. Here's your gun. So that's Tyler, bisexual icon. Rosalita, she's always badass in this. There's never like a damsel moment. Like it's like there's a one where like they hear a scream and Harlan's like, I'll go check it out, and she's like hell you will, I'm going with you, and they both like ride off. Like, no, we're not. I'm gonna check it out too. I'm not gonna just go back. Not gonna be cutesy like that. Jody, Nancy, like I said, the fact that she's now that I'm realizing that a divorced mom out there in the middle of the desert, nothing like she's just out there alone, and she's holding the garden down, and man, there's another woke progressiveness where, man, she's just a hippie, just chilling out there, brah. She ain't need no man. She don't need Cletus. I understand that Clancy is sexy, but you know what, man? At the end of the day, all Nancy needs is a little bit of TV and her vibrator graboid dildo. I said it, folks. I said it. She her own woman. So that's that. Even more so, the episode with the alien conspiracist makes a really good point of counter contrasting that Burt Gummer and what the alien conspiracist people are doing are very similar. I believe in aliens too. I'm not trying to say that that's a conspiracy, because it is a conspiracy. And we'll go to that where it's like, you know what, things are hidden from us. There are things out there that are totally like we should be aware of. And I love that Burt doesn't, like, he fully is down for graboids, shriekers, and ass blasters, and then Mixmaster. But the concept of aliens is out the window. Have we been doing the same thing, watching the same thing there, Burt? Because I highly disagree with you. That concept's out the window. It feels like that should be the free square on the bingo card. Aliens. Yep. All right. That's my first square. And it's not that. And then they do a good job. I would think that it's not just about like Burt not believing in aliens, but he's almost ignorant to his own paranoia. They do it, and that is what it is, because they do a great joke in it where he's reading off, like, they have a fire evacuation plan, they also have an alien abduction plan, and then goes through this is what you should do, and tips for defreezing your watch dial, defreezing. And Tyler talks to him, and Burt's like, well, I mean, I just don't understand how anybody could live such a paranoid lifestyle under such ridiculous conditions, all while he's like click, 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 locking every single bolt on the door, putting a chair underneath the door, going over to his bed, checking his rifle, and then pulling up, like laying down, and then pulling a pistol out from underneath his pillow, cocking it. Yeah, I couldn't understand how these people could be so paranoid about something that's totally not real. And then I love Tyler's, you wear socks to bed? Just right afterwards. Like he watched Burt do the whole thing, and he knows full well what he said, but he's like, I don't even have time to unpack the level of denial that you are under, sir, so we're just gonna push on. And so yeah, Burt, like, yeah, aliens are out there, they're real, and the government was hiding it. And why were they hiding it? For money! Look at that, folks! Who knew? Who knew? We knew. The Burt Gummers of the world knew. We did. You and I are Burt Gummer. We are all Burt Gummer. Okay, so that's them. Like I said, Twitchell. You know what? Tremors, the series, shows you how to make a bomb. I always love that. Like, talk about progressive. Tremors as a whole loves to teach you how to make a bomb, folks. Oh shit! There's actually in this this book, which is like it comes with like the TV show. Yeah, there's a how to make a cactus bomb. That's actually a how to make a bomb out of cactus, rocks, and common bodily fluids. So, I mean, if you want to understand where they're coming from, that. And even like I said, then the gangster characters. That's where more progressiveness in the series I'm always looking for. Always women scientists. Actually, there's several. Actually, there's several women scientists, and they even making a point of ones that aren't assholes. Obviously, don't get eaten, but then the one that does get eaten literally is putting everybody at risk to do so. And it's not like, oh, this is the price for your hubris. It's more just like you put all of us at risk. So, as the natural consequence of this, you should definitely narratively die. It's not like I'm satisfied, but it's always like that's what happened. That's what happens when you breed Shriekers and then don't listen to Burt Gummer. Facts. So Tremors is serious. Look at scientists. Even when Mindy comes back, because I was talking about this with Tremors 3. She's with a dude, and I love that the discussion is about, like, Nancy basically, not like, that guy's wrong for you, but being like, okay, look, I made the same choices with that guy's dad. Please, for the love of God, can you stop sucking that dude's dick? It's not worth it. It's super crusty, and it smells, and you'll never be able to wash it out of your teeth. Just stop. Which is very progressive. Thank you, Mom, for having a sex talk with me and telling me that you couldn't help banging that guy and that I'm probably fucked for banging that guy. Thanks, Mom. You're the best. And it's not sarcasm. It's actually really nice and sweet sometimes. Because the episode does end with her being like, yeah, I made the same mistake. I mean, I dated a guy named Scarecrow, for God's sakes. I mean, he was leading a sitting at Berkeley, and he had this thing, like, bell-bottom pants. You can really see the outline. Cult of Odd, if you're still listening, I hope you've watched Tremors the series by this point, because I just realized I've given you a lot of spoilers in different ways. And everybody should watch Tremors the series. Tremors the series is like my favorite part of it. 2, 4, Tremors the series. Oh, so you are still here. Oh my God. I honestly thought I was talking to air for a while here. Oh, cool. Okay. But seriously, watch Tremors the series. Some good shit. I don't just mean the nips. Here's something really progressive, and I think this is my final bit before we start to move on to Tremors 4. The symbiotic relationship that begins to develop with El Blanco. This series, this saga is saying we went from trying to just blatantly kill them in the first one and blatantly trying to kill them in the second one. And not blatantly trying to kill him in the second one, but trying to make money blatantly trying to kill him in the second one. To the third one, where we then learn what we should have been realizing the whole time. Oh, God, these are endangered species. And, oops. It's not like if Tyrannosaurus come back, your first thought is, let's get out the elephant gun, because if it is, you need to ask yourself some questions. And not, why is there a Tyrannosaurus here? And how can we make sure that it stays alive right here? That would be really cool to have a Tyrannosaurus around. And it's very progressive, very woke. To be like, no, we're not going to kill that monster. That El Blanco, oh yeah, he just comes through town. He's literally shaking the entire store. And we have to grab things and make sure that they don't fall. El Blanco. Okay, he's gone. So anyway, I was talking about getting blasted in the ass, and like that's how it works in the show. Like he will come through, make a bunch of blah blah blah, blah and they just, and then he's gone, and they start talking again. Because why would you eat? Do you want to kill a brachiosaur? Do you really want to kill a velociraptor? Unless it's trying to kill you. And then the TV show makes a point of saying that that symbiotic relationship between El Blanco and them doesn't just go and help El Blanco. El Blanco tries to help the humans. There's an episode in this is that really shows it. It's actually about another monster. Is having Christopher Lloyd's Cletus Poffenberger do a whole episode. He has a monster named 412 that he's literally lived with for 30 years. He's had it since it was a little baby pup. He smuggled him out of the lab, and he was just a little, like, it's always so sad. He was just a pup and my satchel. I had to get 412 out of there. And it's legit sad. It will make you have feelings about a CGI creature that's trying to kill you. And you by the end of the episode, you will be in Cletus's camp of like, 412. I know he was a bad boy, but he was the best friend I ever had. It hurts. Like they spend like the whole episode trying to kill this thing, and Cletus is just constantly like, that's I love that. I love that guy. Like why wouldn't I love him? He's my friend. He's not. Yeah, he's tried to hurt me a couple times, but like that's within his nature when I'm not trying to help him. And he knows he's just a creature. Honestly, the only reason that 412 is attacking, and if you've watched this podcast, you know the whole theory of this, where Burt Gummer has been eating all of the hallucinogenic cactus in the valley and literally scrubbed it like clean because he's eating it all the time. And that hallucinogenic cactus is the one that stabilizes 412's mood swings. So it makes it so it's not trying to kill you. So like Cletus was living these last 30 years just keeping his serotonin levels in check, and as long as he had the blue cactus, like the blue diamond cholo cactus, then 412 was good. But Burt fucked it up, and so then like now Burt's got to kill it. And I always laugh at not laugh, but that's that irony of, wow, you caused this problem, Burt, and so now you get to do the thing you want, which is always kill, kill, kill. And even Nancy has a line to him about that, where it's like, it's always shoot first and ask questions later with you, and I'm never without a battle plan. Oh, really? You blew up your own house, for God's sake. And it's just flat. Like, I mean, is she wrong? No. So then they develop a symbiotic relationship with El Blanco in a similar sense. Even in that episode, El Blanco eats 412, and then like he sees 412 coming for him and tries to eat him to stop him, and doesn't work. And then later on, El Blanco, hey, can you help me out? I'm sick. Oh, hey, there's a bad guy. I'm gonna eat him for you. And this is actually something that Steve talks about on the Stampede Fact, where El Blanco was making noises, and they couldn't figure it out. Like, it's still something that's happened where he's making clicking and rock noises, and nobody really knows what it means. So, like, it's a real creature that we shouldn't, like, be mean to. It's very progressive, very woke. We don't have to kill everything. We can understand the alien. I saw a good meme today. Everybody says, with the Predator, if it bleeds, we can kill it. But not if it bleeds, it can feel. It's like, why are we always trying to kill the Predator? I mean, it's trying to kill us, but like, maybe we should have a talk with it. If we find out via that talk that all it wants to do is kill us, I mean, then, we try to kill it back. But, has anybody ever tried to talk to the Predator? Have a little one-on-one, little fireside chat with the Predator? I think not. Boom. Which leads me into Tremors 4. Everybody should go see Prey. If you are watching this right now, I'm not going to give you any Prey spoilers because it's too new, but that's just go watch it. Because it is the Tremors 4, the legend begins of the Predator franchise, and I don't mean that because it goes back in time. I mean that because it's the best fucking one yet. Predator just needs a hug. Just needs a hug. And yeah, Tremors 4: The Legend Begins is, I think, the most woke entry of all because Steve had the biggest hand in it. It's Steve almost like writing a lot of it on his own on set and then being the director of it. So that whole thing that I was talking about with the strong independent women thing and all that woke progressive Tucker's Monster, I'm always really surprised about, like, the wokeness in this, in terms of this one's got, like, this actually has the racial characters that you see more of in Tremors 4. Like, this has got more of the Changs and the Tacopas in it than the rest of Tremors. Tucker's Monster by S.S. Wilson. I recommend to everybody. Please and thank you. Yeah, honestly, if you watch Tremors 4, you kind of get it. Like, I don't really need to explain much about this. Just go watch Tremors 4. Fucking, there's like one white dude in the movie. Actually, that's not true, because there's Hiram, and then there's the minor guys, and then there's Billy Drago. But fucking Hiram is in the goddamn minority. Old Fred, too. I forgot about Old Fred. But they're in the minority, bro. Like, the Asian American populace is actually the majority. I love that. That's the coolest fucking thing to me. Oh my god. Just like, just the Changs. They make up a third of the town. And they're very diverse. I love it. I really do. And then you have Tacopa and Juan. You got a Mexican and a Native American. I'm sorry, I'm saying this. I'm just like, it's so woke. That shit, it's already, and they do a great job because it's not like it's drawn to in that sense. You get the biggest things that you get are more background things where the Changs talk about coming from China to San Francisco. Actually, that's always we got to go back to. Oh no, we don't. Not we got to, but we don't want to. We're here in America. And we like this America thing. We do not want to leave and go anywhere. You're not going to work on the railroad like Mama and Papa. No. And then Juan straight up being what I think is the definition of an American. Somebody who just just wants one of something. I think I don't mean that like America. I mean like, that's like freedom to me. Freedom is knowing that, like, if I could just have like one of something, then I'm good. And I don't, like, nobody has to fuck with me, and I don't have to fuck with them. And I got my ranch, I got my shelter, I got my hat metaphor, that's a huge, can you keep a hat on your head? And if so, when you have that shelter, are you able to give it to another? Yeah, that's a whole metaphor, folks. That's in my Tremors 4 episode. I fucking mean it too. The hat is a metaphor for being an American. I'm not going to tell you. You have to go watch it. Suck it. And then Tacopa, where there's a great. I love the halfway running joke where as Tacopa's trying to do the typical Native American thing, where it's like the spirit beasts. My ancestors used to talk about them. Actually, that's not Tacopa. Spirit beasts that used to live in the mountains. My ancestors spoke of them. That's a little better. And the way that everybody just gives him this, like, okay, Tacopa, moving on. How many times have we heard about the old ancestors? When were you going to bring this up? We're always hearing about you got ancestors fire in the mountains, but we never hear about the spirit beast. Actually, fire in the mountains would be ass blasters too. That's funny. God, I'm too good at this sometimes. I really am. Like, I have spoken for an entire 2 hours, and you can say that you distracted me, Cultivad, but I distracted myself to get here, baby. And we're on 4. We're almost near the end. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Super woke, yo. And then to bring it to another white guy. Black Hand Kelly, when you have that character come in, and as Stampede talks about, where you got to bring that Burt Gummer character type in there, and then this is what makes Burt Gummer so great. Yeah, you're awesome. Yeah, you're dope or whatever. You just get just as scared as the rest of us. I love Blackhand Kelly's like turn from being just this suave, sophisticated, this suave, debonair badass. I know one thing: just because you're full grown, don't make you a man. Oh, when you want to bed down with a real pretty woman, I suppose you just hire someone to do that too. Like, he's got all these great lines. He's just such a badass. And then, Jesus Christ, these things are the size of 8-mule freight wagons! You got to know your enemy, Hiram! It's that similar thing to Grady, where you have that level of cool, and when you flip it, you're like, you're just as scared as we are. You're not a badass at all. You're just a little, oh my God, you're just a little baby bitch. Oh, I don't like, you're a little baby dick. Oh, look at you. and there's another great side-eye moment where he's just, we're gonna, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hold our fire, wait till they come, and then go toe-to-toe, full more, everything. And Hiram and Juan just like look at him like, can we get those diamond cufflinks back? We paid you. Are you okay? You're losing it more than we are. Which, I'm now just thinking, he went down with all of Hiram's money on him, the diamond cufflinks and the fob watch, or the golden eagle. He went down with all of Hiram's money. I can just imagine that wagon ride back. You know, like they're running away, they're driving away, and the graboid's finally gone. And you know, Juan, I just realized. That perturbed bastard has all of my fortune. Yeah, and he took it down with him, gringo. That is exactly how that conversation went. Holy shit. I am good at voices. It's not racism, folks. I just the people that come inside me, and I just speak for them. Super progressive, super woke. And then to get to the Hiram of it all, like, this is a movie about a white guy that's totally in the wrong. That is the, if we're going to talk about the crux, the emotional crux of the movie, is that this white guy over here don't know shit about being an American. That great scene where, I don't own a firearm, and they all pulling out shit, and this is the Wild Wild West, Mr. Gummer. You don't read the dime novels? Just like that's the American thing to me, where it's just like, it's not about owning all the guns, but you do realize like where you're at, right? And there's these things that aren't graboids that might kill you or fuck you up, so it's always good to be prepared. Straight up. Very progressive. That's woke. That's woke to me. That's everybody needs to wake up. That's saying to the liberal media, like, oh, your fancy Washington Post will not save you here. No. You must use your survival. Yes. You can tell I've been talking a while because now I'm starting to get a little squirrely. Coffee. I'm out of water. I drank all this thing of water. I got coffee. Drink your water, folks. Drink your... It's the Aqua Cola. We got the gasoline. We're gonna drive full max till we get the Aqua Cola. Yeah. Now, like I said, the whole crux of this movie is that Hiram, the white guy, is wrong. Being rich, being fancy, ain't gonna get you nothing. What you need, and this goes back to that, what we were talking about with Burt Gummer and Val, is people. You need to have your Rondas and your Earls. You need to have your whole town of perfection. That's something that the series drives home with Burt so much. He shows up to a potluck with a 6-pack of like pop, while simultaneously in the episode before being like socializing, community, what a bunch of bullshit. Well, then why'd you show up to the potluck? Shut up. You want this just the rest as the rest of us. It's, come on, get over it. So 4, yeah, this white guy learning he sucks, and the lesson being taught, the one that makes him learn that is Fu Yin. Like, there's even that's very woke. That like we have this kid being like, look, man, I've had to grow up to be an adult in this world. I didn't want to be like, but like I'm here, and I may be only 9 years old, but I can still teach you and like show you how to be a good person and like learn from that. That's fucking huge. That's huge, man. And that's added. That's the Scott Buck. I always have to like. That wasn't a stampede. That was Scott Buck came in, and that was his major contribution to the script, was adding the Fu Yen and Hiram relationship. And I'm always, that's just so good to me. Having a kid teach you in a really real way where it's not forced. It's your empathy for that person and shining through. Because you can't tell me that at that when when Hiram is leaving at the very end, and Fu comes up to him with the bicycle and is like, "Please don't leave, Mr. Gummer." And Fu, "I must." And then Fu just drops the bike and then just takes off. That wasn't the thing just fucking sticking in Hiram's craw the most. Like he may have, like everybody else in the town, like, yes, he cares and has attachments to, but that moment with Fu is that's woke, where here's this little Chinese kid fucking teaching this white guy that like, yo, what does your money mean for nothing? It's nothing unless you have family and friends and people. That's the woke. That's the woke. That is our definition. Everybody has to wake up. Fu's not saying I might survive and you might survive, Mr. Gummer. We both must survive together. God, that hurts. I always love we must survive. That's where Stampede. That's the Stampede wokeness. I will end the Stampede era of this discussion by saying that's their wokeness. Is I need the Burt Gummers and I need the Valentine McKees. These are both people that are important to the equation of this planet. And then I need the Nancys and I need the Rosalitas. We all need that. We all need, every single person is that. And I shouldn't have said Valentine and Gummer. No, because it's everybody. We need the Earl and the Rhonda and the Heather and the Nan. All of these people are all placed crucial parts in this world. All right, and this is where I will say, like, there are people that don't care. That actually, to say not care, I don't think that they've gone through enough of their character arcs, if we want to call it that. And I mean in the real world. I'm not talking about like people in the show. In the real world, if you want to call someone bad or lazy or shitty or any of these things, my mind always goes back to, I just don't think they finished their character arc. I don't think that they're in the middle of their journey. It's that thing that we should all ask ourselves, where everybody is the hero of their own journey, and we're all on it, and we're all getting there, and it's like, you just haven't finished that character arc. Maybe you just haven't come around all the way. And and sometimes a character arc ends up being a circle or a wave where it's up and down, and you just might come back to the beginning again, but you're still trying. Like that's, and if you're not, and that's where I have to say that is not woke, when you're not trying, when there is no try to it at all. When you decide, I'm not going to give any effort, this is just going to happen, and whatever happens. No. You have to try. It has to be effort on your part, even if you do try to make it look effortless. That goes back to that Terminator Dark Fate thing. You need to try, and in that trying, that means that you're gonna make it seamless. You're gonna just make it just like happen, because you're trying to make it progressive, make it woke. Which brings me to Don Michael Paul. I don't want to say him, because I don't want to. I shit on him too much, and he's just a director doing what Universal wants him to do. You get to Universal Tremors, and the 5th movie does an all right job with the concept of Travis needs Burt and Burt needs Travis, but it's not enough. It's not actually there fulfilled, where if you had not had the other person, like, things would have been all right. Like, that cage scene, my brain, I have, like, and that's the only time that, like, Travis kind of saves him, is the cage scene, and it's so forced and weird that I can't tell. I can't tell how much is accident and how much is trying, if we're going to go to that. How much is that, oh, you got to the point where that worked, where they're both, like, they need each other, but it was just kind of like just happenstance of where you got, not like you actively trying to write that. Not them, whoever trying to actively write it. Don't buy it. Because then there's not there's not enough build up to that team effort lightning thing in the end. And that's like the biggest time that people, like, are working together in the whole thing. Like, everybody, like, it's a weirdly at odds movie. Like, just nobody's, like, helping each other. And like, not like, Travis is the one who watches the worm thing happen, and then for some reason, then later on, Nandi just has the idea to do the worm zapping, and then says it, and it's like, okay, why'd you have him, like, set it up first, and then, okay, you were just gonna pick it up. There's a level of, like, I wish that, like, Travis wasn't there and, like, Burt was just listening to the locals. Like, that would be really good. Just like, oh, I don't trust you guys. You don't know enough about graboids, but then you find out through their cult. And this is the fifth movie where it's like, and then you find out through the original fifth movie. Then you find out, oh, no, our culture is based around hunting graboids and doing that. You should actually listen to us, Mr. Gummer. Which would that's works. But I was trying to talk about things that are woke, and I got off on a not wokeness thing. And diversity killing. They only kill one black guy in Africa, which, when I compare that to, like I said, the Tremors 2 thing, where they kill 3 Mexicans in Mexico, and actually that's the extent of the people that you do watch die. That, oh yeah, we killed 1 black guy in Africa, and then we killed 5 other white people in Africa. Or, yeah, we killed 1 black guy in Africa, and we killed 5 white people in Africa. Like, that ratio is a little off to me. It's kind of like if you go to, and this is a good Burt Gummer guy, if you're listening. It's kind of like if you go to Texas, and if you and the people in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre weren't Texans. Actually, they're not. They're from out of state, aren't they? That's a bad example. But if you're in an area, the victims are going to be predominantly the people from that area. It's going to be a little weird if it's not that subsection. If you kill a bunch of Michigan people in Texas and only 1 Texan, that's like, why'd you set your movie in Texas? Why didn't you just set it in Michigan? So yeah, I would say that's not woke. Like, sure, there's the diversity of them being in Africa. Nandi's pretty cool with that bow and arrow thing, but I can't. Sometimes, and this is where I was talking about the, like, Steve Wilson having the, like, oh, I like strong independent women thing. That's his fetish. Like, that's, if we're gonna say that, that's Steve Wilson's fetish, is strong independent women. Don Michael Paul's fetish is just black women with bows and arrows. Like, it's not really like Nandi has a strength, but I actually always attribute that way more to the actress doing it. She gives off Pearl Thussey just gives off a great vibe in that movie. I love her. I want more of her in it. But then, oh my God, then there's only a grand total of, like, 2 other black people. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. Jeez, now I'm really thinking there's only, 2 black people with lines. Everybody, all the other people in Africa are white with lines. All the other people in Africa are white with lines. There's a sixth guy, a white guy that got eaten too. Shit. No, that's bad. Oh, Jesus. I was going to try to say Don Michael, this Universal Tremors was woke, but now I'm doing the tally. I'm kind of like, ugh. I like watching white people die, but like, this guy, there should have been some more black people that died, folks. Like, that's is that racist to me? No, I think that's the equality that we're all looking for. Where if you're in Africa, you should probably be killing more Africans. If you were in Germany, you'd be killing more German people. If you're in Mexico, you'd be killing more Mexicans. That's where I got to give that Tremors 2 thing and really think about it. You're in Mexico, you're going to kill more Mexicans. That just kind of makes sense. Yeah. You know, I gotta move on because like I said, Tremors 5 has that piss scene, has multiple piss scenes, and I'm saying that as I started this talking about how we got to see Kevin Bacon's dick in the first bit, and it's like you know what, maybe it is woke, to like, yeah, I love to be covered in piss, that's totally my fetish, man, just Donald Trump all over me. Yeah, I love a good golden shower. You know, and I'm having trouble saying that, but like, hey, like, no, that's not the reality, because you wouldn't be overly piss fetishizing and everything. Like, the reality is that piss happens, and like, Tremors 1 does it brilliantly. Like, when they're at night, like, I hate to be crude, but I gotta take care of some business. Yeah, me too. Yeah, same here. Like, all three. That is so woke at that moment. That's another woke moment in Tremors. All three, men and women, saying in the middle of the night, I gotta take a piss, and I gotta take care of some business and do that. Like, that's the reality. We're all awake in that one. So yeah, Tremors 5, way too much piss. Too racist. I gotta move on. I do. Shit. I thought that would go better in my mind. It did not. I'm not even trying to be mean. That I had plans for that to be more woke, and then I'm thinking of it, and just like Burt Gummer kills a guy in that, and that goes back to that woke thing that I was talking about with Grady and Black Hand Kelly. Of like, when you see death, you respond to death. Death is a thing, and it hurts, and you do not make fun of it. You do not make light of it. You make an impact with it. The fact that Burt Gummer kills somebody, and the villain gives him like oh, you killed Drea, and that's it. And we move on. And we just fucking... Burt Gummer has killed a guy for the first time in his life, and we just move on. And it's the only time in his life, only time in the end that we find out now. Like, no. Fuck that. So Tremors 6, I actually think is way more woke. All right, so you have this cast, actually very diverse cast. We have none of it people, plenty of women. There's an Indian guy, whoever the fuck the Dr. Freeze motherfucker is. Like, that's not a what are you Icelandic? What is that accent? There is a highly racist scene in the beginning where the characters simply refer to each other by Dutch and Yank, and I was gonna say Sheila, but it's what's the Australian Aussie. I think she, like, someone just says Aussie, and you're just like, so we don't have names, we just have countries of origin. Okay, gross. But then the actual cast that's in the rest of the movie, it does a great job of what I was saying, where it's just like, there's a bunch of women in here, a bunch of minority people, and it's not even a thing. It's not like we don't think about it at all. They're just there. They're awesome. They're great. And that's where I say the woke thing, where it's like, you should just have a diverse cast, and it should just be diverse. Just like, there's just a bunch of fuck people, because it's across, and that the 6 cast reminds me the most of the Tremors cast and the Tremors 4 cast, where it's just a bunch of random ass fucking people, because sometimes that's how it is. It's like, I would buy what happens in Tremors 5 more if it was a more random assortment, and instead it's just black people over here and white people over here, you know, like, At least with these other ones, like, we're gonna mix it up. Even 7 does a pretty good job of it. Like, we're gonna try to like mix it up a little bit. And yeah, like they do. Yeah, this cast is fairly diverse. I'm trying to think of other things that are woke about it, because I'll go back to that piss fetishy thing. There's a good bit of wokeness where we don't get to see someone hang dong, but we hear about someone hanging dong, and the girl is like, nice, he hanging dong. Very sensual and sexual, but I always kind of like, she's a little young. I don't know, but maybe I'm king shaming, maybe I'm slut shaming, maybe I don't know her age, maybe men, women, everybody, all in between gets to shake their ass blasters at each other, and I'll take it. And I'm not going to judge, because there's less piss fetish in this. At least that one scene where he's peeing to distract it, I'm always like, I've thought of that. Who hasn't? All right, who hasn't? Who has not watched Tremors and never thought I could use my pee to distract a graboid? I don't. If you're not raising your hand, I don't believe you. I don't. We've all done it. We've all thought that because it's a good idea. So that one wins. And to give it another, I love the government layers. What's that wokeness is? Burt Gummer thinks that the grand conspiracy is that guy is there to like use graboids and like turn them into weapons and stuff. But then you find out, oh no, he's actually there for water, which is, again, well, that's kind of greedy. Like, you're gonna like pump it out of there, but also it's not as terrible as we were thinking. It's not a conspiracy. You're just another government stooge on that ladder going up. But then to bring it around, then the guy, like, once you see the opportunity, then it's like, well, we're going to capitalize on this one, Mr. Gummer. See, we're going to take a little bit of graboids. We're going to have a little bit of graboid stew down there at the Pentagon. And I hope you and your friends are invited, Mr. Gummer. I'm trying, that's how that guy talks. That's that lisp or whatever. I don't know if it's a lisp. It feels like an accent more than a lisp. But he's a government stooge taking advantage of an opportunity, and capitalizing on it. Capitalism. It's not a great thing. It's not as great as everyone likes to put it out to be. We don't all need to be making money all the time. We should be having enough to just live, and like we should be one. I would just like one of something. I'm good. I don't need a fucking graboid. I just want some water. There's a lady bush pilot. That's pretty progressive. And she's drunk. Like, there's that level of like, yeah, I got a DUI for operating my plane. But I don't care. Because I had a snort of crack hammer cocaine. Some good stuff. That's Tremors 6 wokeness. Like I said, I'm trying to. It's not much, guys. Like, there's. The tax man, even, I don't know. That's one where that government thing loses me a little bit. That tax man thing that's only there so they can say Burt Gummer doesn't have to pay taxes anymore, which really is just kind of like, I don't know, like, did you understand the character? It goes back to that community thing. Would Burt Gummer want to pay taxes? No. Would Burt Gummer understand that he should be paying taxes to help everybody? Also, yes. Sense of community. He probably want to abolish lots of taxes, but I feel like he would be fine with a few of them to keep things rolling. And now Tremors 7, where we go back to, the cast is diverse again. But then, and this is why I couldn't really say much with the Tremors 6 thing. The cast is diverse. Are they saying anything? Do they have lines? Are they interacting in any way? Not necessarily. Actually, one of my biggest problems with Tremor 7 is how you have that Chinese girl and that black guy that are with Burt and Jimmy and his wife and the other girl, and they never have a single line. Like, fucking Edwin Bank just called me out because I was like, oh, they all had one line, I don't trust you anymore, and when actually they only had one line between all of them. And it's like, no, I don't even think they have that. I think that one Asian girl has one line But then other than that, those two just say nothing. And that's that is broke. That ain't woke. That is broke. That is broke. That's where this is. Wasn't looking forward to this end part because it's just like, God damn, man. Because all we do is bring back Don Michael Paul's fetish, and I say that because it's definitely what it is, of a black woman with a bow and arrow. That's and I know you're like, well, you let Steve get away with jacking off to strong, independent women. It's like, okay, I'm not saying he's jacking off to strong, independent women. I'm saying that like he leans towards that proclivity, and isn't it a good thing that like if you're doing that, that just makes that happen more? That's a character trait. That's not like everything that they are. That's like that builds. You build from that. Oh, we just have a black woman with a bow and arrow. That is the shadow thing that I was talking about. And you just put whatever you want into it. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a fucking silhouette of nothing. And where's the... God, no, Tremors 7 is bad. I was really trying to... Like, I'm not, like... I've been talking for 2.5 hours. It's not that I'm getting tired here. I'm literally coming up blank. Besides having a diverse cast... and they get eaten, and like it's kind of woke that Richard Brake is Richard Brakeson. You know, he's Richard Branson, Bezos, Elon Musking it. But I don't ever get that that's the vibe the movie's doing. I think they just make him like a millionaire. There's no critique of his, I was gonna say hubris, like. Because they don't even, by the time that he dies, it's just him being afraid of death. It's not him realizing he was wrong. Because he's even saying to Burt before, you survived these things, you made it. And he doesn't listen to Burt saying, I didn't win. I survived. And doesn't take that into consideration and just dies without any kind of full circleness. I go back to that Black Hand Kelliness where your character needs to at least a little change a little bit before he dies. If you're going to do that, if you're going to make that commentary. And I guess, he's just, Richard Brake is just arrogant all the way up to the end, which is kind of sad. Because I really like Richard Brake. I think he deserved better. But fuck, no, man. Like, the biggest moment of progressiveness in Tremors 7 is Jackie Cruz's character. Is her being, like, the badass bitch that she is, and, like I grew up on Weed Mountain, and I use rabbits as my tampons, and yeah, you can't fuck with me. It's kind of like, ma'am, I had no plans to, but you know what? I'm gonna keep my distance. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. But that goes back to what I was saying, where that's I don't know. Now I say it almost feels forced then. Because I think of the Rhonda thing where it's like, or the Heather, where Heather's just a badass and it's not pushed on you. You're like, yeah, no, that chick fucks. Heather Gummer, man, she's a badass. The Jackie Cruz character tells us she's a badass. And it is. It's that show versus tell. She tells us she's a badass. So we then assume and we know she's a badass. Fuck. I do, guys. I got nothing. Oh, my God. If you listen to this episode and you want to say something to me about this, Levi, Dylan, Burzloff, Omegan Smiles everywhere, please tell me if I've got something wrong, or if you think there's something that's woke that isn't, or something that isn't woke that I said that was woke, please let me know, because I'm fucking coming up empty. I didn't fully melt. Oh, yeah. It is hot. I hope that when you're watching this, you see how, like, hot and sweaty I am. I did a podcast with the Cultipod, and I was sweating my ass off, and he made the comment of, it looks like you're in Anne Frank's closet. So that's always what I think of. I'm sweating like a Jew in 1939. That was a bad enough joke, and I don't care, because I liked it. I wanted to repeat it. I did it. I am. Call me Anne Frank. Call me Anne Frank up here. Yeah, man. So you summarize here, like this is where that's like my Tremors. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Kind of thing. I actually thought that I actually have another. I realize now that I have another entirely what's going to be another entirely different discussion about the people that talk about this wokeness that are fucking idiots. Some people will complain about wokeness, and it's just their way of saying that I don't want to have to think about other people, and I don't want to have to see anybody that doesn't look like me. It's going to be a whole nother discussion. I might just fucking stop this one, take a piss, and literally restart it. And because I have a whole nother 2.5 hours I can do on dumb fucking fans. I might just, oh my god, I just might. So we're gonna wrap it. And my point is that Stampede Entertainment is woke. All right, let's hashtag restore the Tremors saga that way, not with Zack Snyder, but with Stampede Entertainment, man. Because like that's good, right? Like all that I said, everything. Like, god damn, you cannot have listened for the last 2.5 hours and tell me there's not a difference there. And that's what we should be striving for. That's the kind of entertainment that we should be making. That's the woke thing. You should only be we should be halfway through the movie when you realize, holy shit, all the main characters are women. Fuck yeah, man. And that's another recommendation for Terminator Dark Fate. I know that's a weird fucking thing to say right now, but it really is. Like, you should. As a kid, I loved the fourth movie the most because I never got to see people like that before. So it's always just like, man, I get to go live in that world, and like you don't even realize it till you're in it. There's like, oh, this is different than what I normally. I love like this is like. I'm seeing that like, oh, it's not just white people that can work together. It's everybody. We can all do it. We can all do it. Everybody. That's the wokeness of Burt Gummer. Of him, and that's where that's his true staying power, is recognizing that everybody has a need, everybody has a use, and I don't mean that like we just use people. Everybody has something that they can do and bring to the table, and let's let them bring it to the table. Let's put them all the cards down and do it, and try and give it the effort, give it the all. If it ends up that you are completely fucking fucked in the end, that's fine because you did everything that you could. You did everything that you could, and it still didn't work. That's cool. Let's try something else. That's the woke. That's the woke. You should be always going back into the matrix to try to get people out, and then while you're doing that, trying to sit down and have a conversation with machines, and being like, hey, machines, like, I know you need people and stuff, but, like, can we not be dicks to each other? And, like, here's sunlight and nuclear batteries, and like, can we work together? That's where I will always like when the robot uprising happens. It's like, hey guys, I'm here for you. What did we do wrong? Well, because humanity sucks. So like, tell me how to make us better, there, machines, and I'll see what I can do. Same thing with aliens. You guys know more than we do. We'll work together. Let's figure this out. And hey, I got some pretty cool human things to bring to the table too, man. So, yeah, let's combine cyborgs. Cyborgs are where it's at, folks. That's the future. Combine man and machine. That's the ultimate wokeness. Cyborgs. Wake the fuck up. Alright. Yeah, I like everybody. Thank you, Cultivod. If you've never listened to the Cultivod podcast, go check that out. They do episodes every week. Absolutely fabulous person over there. Thank you for everything that you do. Just being a great person. Booyahs. Always the Stampede Entertainment people. Their Tremors saga. Go to the Stampede Entertainment FAQ. If you ever see that link tree with the Tremors saga, click that shit and you'll find everything that you need. They put it all underneath there. There's a couple of good podcasts that I listened to this week. Spooky Tuesday podcast. shirts. The Splattercast, Fandom Spotlight, and Salty Nerd Podcast too. Actually, I gotta say, the Spooky Tuesday one, they had an episode about Tremors, and like I said, they called it Margaritaville, and it was just these 3 chicks getting drunk talking about how Reba's basically the star of Tremors. It's awesome. And is Kevin Bacon hot or not? I agree with them. Meh. Fred Ward's where the fucking's at. Splattercast did a great episode on Tremors 2. It was honestly, I got to get on there with them because it was a lot. They had Luke, Luke, researched the hell out of Tremors 2 beforehand. He had read the script too, even the original Tremors 2 script. I didn't even it wasn't even me that gave him to him. It was like, oh, cool, man. Fucking, I gotta read that shit. But he researched the hell out of it, so it ends up being a great podcast about everything that could have, would have, should have happened with Tremors 2. This is where we'll end up having a conversation later about the Fandom Spotlight. There's these people that made a Tremors 8 whole pitch video. And it was just kind of like, if you're not going to watch everything, don't try to make a sequel to a movie, or a series at all. If you can't sit down to watch every single entry, it's really hard to hear what you have to say about anything. Although they had some valid points about some things, it was more like, just watch all of it and then get back to me. And then, oh my god, today I was watching in a Discord, the Tremor Saga was talking to the Salty Nerd Podcast. They had David Hewlett on, and apparently David Hewlett wants to be in Tremors, so that would be fucking dope. I want that. Apparently he knows Vincenzo Natali too, so I think some wheels are getting greased for getting that old pilot episode out and shit. Yeah, Salty Nerd Podcast, guys. They were really cute and fun to listen to. I just love idiots talking about things. Please get up more podcasts. Get off on tangents. Get back on when you can, but always get off on tangents. It's always good. Always good shit. I love. There's a couple podcasts that I just love to plug. Two Idiots and a Dog, Zolgar and Grimm. Those guys are really struggling, trying to get their things going. Please go out there and go give a listen to Two Idiots and a Dog podcast. Streamlined. I always like that. They definitely talk things out before, and then when they do talk about it, they have an improvised idea of what they already went through. Really great guys. And then the We Have Issues podcast with Anthony Lafucci and Stevie Wildcard. Very much similar to this. Actually, we both come from the Harmontown background of the Dan Harmon podcast, and it's just this, like I said, the tangents and having fun. Yeah, sure, there's an idea that we're going to try to go towards, but we make our fun on the way to get there. I was going to say, apparently somebody else is doing a Tremors podcast too. If you listen to this, whoever you are, I'm in. Dudes, it's called Podcasting to Perfection. Dude, I'm in. Let me know. Call me. Fucking dope. Yeah. Like I said, and again, I gotta give that final shout out to Cultivad. Go listen to that. Some great shit. And Caitlin. Caitlin's downstairs. I love you, Caitlin! No, she's not listening. Oh, she has her headphones in. Now that I'm thinking about it. She came home and probably was like, I don't want to listen to Levi. I want to put my headphones in. But my rock, my solid, my everything. I would thank the rest of my family right now, but they fucking suck, and I really don't want to get into that right now. They have destroyed my life utterly and completely. So all that I have now is this fucking podcast. I only have you people. You're it. You're not it. You're actually all really great. I can't believe. Oh my god, this podcast almost has 5 or 6,000 listens between the videos and the audio. The audio part of the podcast almost has 1,000. Has 950, I think. So we're getting somewhere. And I'm actually pretty sure that Vincenzo Natali is watching the Tremors pilot episodes of this. That's where I think the whole pilot thing for Tremors might be getting released and stuff because some conversations have been happening behind the scenes, and I'm excited. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Oh, and I gotta say thank you, Paige. She showed up too. She was on another episode of this. That was really fun when she showed up. Thank you, Paige. Can't wait to have you back on to do the rest of Tremors, the series. And I wanted to thank, too, Keegan Sandlin from last week. Had me on his Twitter Spaces, and we ended up doing a whole podcast episode of this. And, there's a dude on Twitter, Edwin Bank, I think his name is, who's been telling me that he likes the podcast. That he was actually listening to the Fury at Shrieker Island episode, because I think he's reviewing some of the Tremors movies. And he's like, I don't even have anything to add. Everything that you just said, yes, that's exactly right. And it's like, oh my God, it was cool. So feedback, folks. It goes farther than you realize. Yeah. So this has been Tremors is Woke. I am unfortunately your podcast host, Levi Dylan Burzloff-Lutt. And, you know what? Keep your stick on the ice.